What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another edition, post-Thanksgiving edition of the Hard Count. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Everybody that's going to listen to the podcast, watch the replay, join us live, whatever you're doing right now. If you're here, we appreciate you, all right? Can't start the show without asking how the guy that I host this with is doing. How you doing there, CJ? Huh? Thanksgiving was good. Doing all right now? Well, what's going on?
Yeah, Thanksgiving was great. Thanksgiving was great. Spent time with the fam. Had some good eats. That's always a plus on that day. And then most importantly, it just falls right along to our show, football, food and football. Man, double F, a family with triple F with the family. So it was a great Thursday for me. Spending some time talking to some family members and friends, seeing a couple of people that I haven't seen in a few years because of the pandemic. It's crazy. The pandemic was 2 years ago. And so many people just either moved because of what happened or just haven't been able to get outside or really, interact too much socially. So it was good to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while. Now link up back with them, socialize, everything, we're always on our phones, but it's always good to see people in the physical.
That whole in-person thing. Oof.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Hopefully, you and I could link up in person here soon, and we can make that happen very soon as well. So, but yeah, it was great. It was great, man. I was the Conover Thanksgiving
successful
special.
as always.
Nice.
Successful as always. Both my brothers pulled up. They got their girls with them. My cousin pulled up. Man was doing her thing as she always does. A lot of turkey. See, here's my problem. I always call it stuffing. We don't eat technical stuffing because, like, the stuffing, we got like the bread and all that in it, and like the Stouffer's top. That what everybody
Stouffer's top.
Yeah, that's what everybody thinks of, right?
Classic brand.
That's not what my nan's stuffing is, and I don't know how to describe it to people other than the fact of you probably wouldn't eat it if you looked at it. I didn't. My first many years on this earth. That I look back on with great disappointment that took me so long because I don't know how she makes it. Still don't know the ingredients in it. But it's like green, and I don't know what it is. But it's our version of stuff, and it is just CJ. I mean, it is just unbelievable.
Chef's kiss.
I mean, I can't. I mean, the Italian sausages in it. I know that. That's about all I know. A little spicy Italian sausages in it. But I don't know literally don't know anything else, and it's green. But it is so good that, we literally got a vat sent home about this big. It's gone. It's gone.
I believe it.
The stuffed mushrooms. I'm not a cranberry sauce guy. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm not a big cranberry sauce guy.
Nah.
Turkey
was good though. I don't even like turkey. We discussed turkey, but listen, when Nan does it, it's good.
Man, she was the MVP. She was in there just wow.
Nan's been MVP for 22 years. I mean, much longer than that for the older people in her life. But,
exactly.
My MVP for the last 22 at least. You don't look like this because you're not eating well. You know what I mean? You don't look like this off of salads. A lot of chicken cutlet and pastas and vats of everything else that I can ever order. Because well, I think we had about 8 people. I think my nan got like a 25-pound turkey. Like we're not eating 5 pounds of turkey now.
No, that's crazy.
Crazy. But
25. Sheesh.
She don't know. Cooking for one is not understood in the household. Nan will always be the unanimous MVP.
Automatic.
Hey, listen. The food was good. The vibes were good. And for the first time, I feel like in a while, I can say Thanksgiving football was good as well.
Yeah.
There was good football on Thanksgiving. We kicked it off with the Bills at the Lions. Listen, better game than I thought it was going to be now. Let me respect the Lions here. They've been covering all year, and they are a very good team at home. I think they averaged in the high 30 points per game when they were playing in their own stadium. So they are a pretty solid team. Matt, we're going to get there because I don't think I can do this. I can't. I'll get very upset. But Bills, a good football team, especially at home. Um, this man Williams stealing touchdowns all over the place. Have you seen his touchdown list? He has I think he has 13 or 15, something like that on the season. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I think he has 4 touchdowns over 1 yard. It's just, I mean, they talk about a goal line beast. That is exactly what he is. And yeah, listen, the Lions had a lead late in this game, and I think honestly, just some bad defense there at the end. Josh Allen uncorks about a 40, 50-yard pass, I want to say. They did the math on it because, to get down to where it was at that ball, they did the math. About a 50-mile-an-hour throw. So he was chucking that thing downfield. Diggs, of course, that connection is basically, I mean, peanut butter and jelly, you want to say? I mean, a cold water on a hot day type of thing. I mean, it just goes perfectly together. It's just simply unbelievable. Go down, kick the field goal, bang, end up winning the game. Much needed win for them, 8-3. Keeps them right there with the Chiefs. If the Chiefs have a little slip up, Bills win out. Chiefs slip up one time, bam. All of a sudden, you got the home game in the playoffs go through Buffalo instead of Kansas City once again. But this is a very good game. And listen, maybe it's a little different for the Lions because I think some people had higher expectations. I saw some people, 7, 9, 8, 9, 10 wins type of situation. I thought they would be improved. I didn't think that they would get there. But you are seeing the improvements. Like if they could fix their defense slightly, just slightly, they'd win a lot more games because this offense is doing what it's supposed to do. And that's with Jared Goff, who, me included, you don't think you're winning a Super Bowl with them. You saw the Rams, they moved on from him and then won a Super Bowl. So you're probably not winning a Super Bowl with him, but whatever. He's doing his job. I said it the previous show. If Amon-Ra St. Brown was 4 inches taller, he'd be Julio Jones. I mean, he is a very good player. And they're what? Who they getting? Jameson.
Yeah, Jameson Williams coming back.
Jameson Williams. Okay, I want to make sure. I couldn't remember if it was Williams or not. Jameson Williams. It looks like he's on his way back. So hey, maybe the Lions aren't the team this year. I think next year is that step. I really do. I think next year you're looking at a damn near 10-win team. I would go out there and say a 10+ win team.
Okay, wow, 10 wins. Okay, they this was a good game. This was a good game to start Thanksgiving for football. Then the calm 12:30 game. I'm right there. I'm right there with you. This was definitely a day of really good football where a lot of times Lions, Cowboys, they usually sell on Thanksgiving Day, but that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case on Thursday. And the play that you talked about from Allen to Diggs, that safety, I don't know what these safeties are doing. I mean, who else did you think he was going to throw the football to in that situation? I mean, they had their opportunities. They had their opportunities to win this game. They fought. They played hard. They know what their record is on Thanksgiving Day at home. For the Lions, it's a special season for them, in my opinion. Like the way they've been able to score the football, go up and down the field, get touchdowns. Jamal Williams, like you said, has had a phenomenal year so far with the amount of touchdowns. And Amon St. Brown, they traded Hawkinson, and it looks like that ends up being a great trade because he hasn't really done much in Minnesota, and it looks like they haven't missed him in the slightest. So they've done well with that. Jameson Williams is going to come back. Jim Nantz, yeah,
I've never seen an announcer jinx like that in my life.
Yeah,
he hasn't missed a field goal all year. Missed a 29-yard field goal.
Crazy.
Never seen anything like it.
Insane, bro. But yeah, the Lions, they're going to be around for a few more years for sure. They're definitely a team for the future. This is this is what we are. And we're here to stay. We're going to be good going forward. We just got to clean some things up. Their defense has played much better over the last month or so. In the beginning of the season, that was really the issue for them.
Giving up 40 bombs.
Right. Yeah. It was bad. It was really bad. But now they've locked in these last couple months and have played some really good football. So yeah, even though they're 4-7, we see the potential. We see what they can be going forward if they just continue to clean some things up. So tough L, but definitely something to look forward to if you're a Lions fan going forward. And for the Bills, you said stay in the top of the AFC. How about staying the top of the AFC East?
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. Gridiron, how you doing, man? Happy
Hope
holidays,
you had
my
a
guy.
wonderful Thanksgiving as well, Gridiron. Welcome back to the program.
Facts. Welcome, man. Welcome. So yeah, they got to worry about Miami. Miami has that one win over them in the division, and they're 8-3 as well. So
You just see that the Miami game just got flexed into Sunday Night Football a couple weeks from now. It was supposed to be Chiefs Broncos. They just flexed Miami Chargers into Sunday Night Football
that's
for
good. Yeah,
week 15, I believe.
that's just a much more exciting game. Even though just a much more exciting game, man. It just no one wants to see the Broncos right now on television. How about them Trojans? Yeah, Caleb Williams, Heisman, looking like the Heisman right now. He's been going crazy.
Team in the AP poll just now.
In fact, these NFL teams are salaried for this guy. Once he gets out, and this becomes eligible for the draft, maybe the Lions could be a team. Maybe not. I don't think he's not eligible this year, but next year he's gonna come out. But yeah, Buffalo, they had the Minnesota loss, and even they should have won that game. But they're gonna be all right. They're gonna be all right. I like the way they've ran the football as of late. These last couple of weeks, it's not just Allen. Even though Allen was running for his life, it was just sometimes where the offense didn't have it going, and he would just run, keep the drive going, running the football, and doing what he needs to do to keep the team's confidence going throughout a series. And he's just so great at that. And of course the passing ability, the arm strength that you alluded to earlier when you broke down the game. It's just going to be tough. It's tough to stop him. It's tough to stop him. And as good as this Lion team is, it's just not enough against a MVP type candidate in Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see it on Thursday night. Pats are playing the Bills, but yeah, I mean, if the Bills ever had like a truly effective running game, I think they can go undefeated. I really do. I mean, it is just. They definitely ran the ball better in this game, but Josh Allen was still the leading rusher. He had 10 carries, 78 yards, had a touchdown on the ground as well. But, Devin Singletary, 14 for 72. That's a 5-yard carry average. So, obviously, when he needed to, they could do that. And I think they did it very effective later in the game. I almost wish, even when the Patriots had Brady, sometimes, remember they would come out and just run 5 run plays in a row. Just because they were like, we want to do this today. Right. I just wish the Bills sometimes, even if you're not getting the most effective runs, but you're gaining positive yardage, they would come out and be like, you know what, screw it. We're running the ball 8 times to start the game. And, even if you're picking up 3 yards on those carries, it's first down, basically. 3.5 yards. You get that, you're getting first down. So I almost wish they could do that, take the pressure off, because like I said, the last couple years for Josh, nothing's really gone wrong. Ever since he got Diggs, nothing went wrong. The only wrong decision he's ever made, probably last year as well, was the coin toss. He picked the wrong side of the coin. And now it's kind of like, I think he's gotten to that point where it's like, oh, nothing's gone wrong. I'm going to try and force this ball there because, well, nothing's gone wrong recently, so I might as well try and do it again. And then, he's had the turnover problems recently, even had turnover in this game. Obviously got to clean that up if the Bills are really going to get to their ultimate goal. Big news coming out of this game as well was that Von Miller was hurt. I just saw a clip of him earlier on Twitter. Said it was like a strained something. He's hoping to be back for the Jets game, which is in about 2 weeks, I think. So he'll obviously miss this week. Looks like the week after, but he's hoping to be back for the Jets. But yeah, a nice win for the Bills. Hell of a game. And we go on. Giants and the Cowboys. Cowboys got 28-20 victory here. Very close in the first half of this game. Very, very close in the first half of this game. It looked like
13-7.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants were up too, right? Am I
right?
wrong?
Slayton had that big catch.
Yep, 13-7. It looked like one of those games where it's like, oh boy, the Cowboys really should win this, or they're going to choke this one. Is it going to be that typical game? Blah 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 blah. And then in the second half, they came out and did what they had to do. Dak threw the 2 interceptions in the first half of the game, I believe. Then came out in the second half, had the 2 touchdowns instead. 21 out of 30, 261. And I will say, this is like a typical Dak game, but good. because like you've seen it a lot of times almost where they have a bad first half, they're down by a bunch of points. Second half, all of a sudden he throws for 300 yards in the second half, 3 touchdowns. He has good numbers at the end, but they end up losing because the first half was so bad that when they're playing catch up in the second half, they make it close. They end up losing the game, but he has good stats. And listen, maybe it's because they're playing the Giants and they're not an offensive juggernaut, obviously. That if they're playing a team that can actually score, they lose this game. I mean, they lose this game by 14 points, probably 14, 20 points. I mean, it wouldn't have been a story, but the defense did what they had to do. They kept it to that certain point. They didn't really capitalize off of the turnovers. And, Zeke looked good in this game, 16 carries, 92 yards, had a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb was very good in this game, 6 for 106. They just did what they had to do. And honestly, the final score of the game with the 28-20 or 28-20. Yeah, I just said 28-20, stupid. It wasn't even that close. Giants scored a nothing touchdown with 10 seconds left in the game.
Exactly.
Made it 28-20, but it wasn't even that close. So Cowboys in the second half really dominated. I think they outscored them 21-7 in the second half. So good game out of the Cowboys. And yeah, this is what they have to keep doing because listen, they beat the Giants. The Giants are still 7-4. Cowboys are 8-3.
Commanders are 7-5.
Yeah, obviously the Eagles are 10-1 now, I believe it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just a juggernaut. Like any other year, the Cowboys are in first place. If you look at this division the past couple of years, the Cowboys, honestly, you look at this division the last couple of years, any single one of these teams, the last 2 years, if you just took their record from this year and made it last season or the previous year, they're a shoo-in.
Easily.
Shoo-in for the playoffs. And now all of a sudden it's like, damn, everybody want to be good this year, huh?
This division.
Packers still won the Cowboys, even though we're 4-8. Sad cheese season. I think the Giants might miss the playoffs this year on a downward slide and still got to play Philly twice. They got to play the Commanders twice as well. So it is definitely – I think the Giants have the toughest remaining schedule of anybody in the NFL, technically the highest winning percentage in the NFL. So definitely is going to be troubling for them down the stretch. And I'm not going to lie, Gridiron, I think I agree with you. Listen, they were 7-2 at one point, and now they're 7-4. And I guess I'll kind of put this question out there as well. Is it a disappointment of a season? Because you got to remember, beginning of the season, you don't have expectations. Expectations have to change when the circumstance changes. When you are 7-2, you're not, oh, this is a good season. If we lose out the rest of the year, I'd be fine. If you think that way, good for you. I don't know how I feel about you. Because if I'm 7-2 and all of a sudden I miss the playoffs, it's like, what an opportunity did we just waste? Because, I think the only guaranteed win the Giants have going forward, and maybe that's not even a guarantee, but because they play tough, is the Colts. They play the Colts, and, guarantees are very hard in the NFL, but I would think the Giants would be able to do it. But, they are beat up, and we've talked about all you got to do is stop Saquon. And with their offensive line, it's not like it's, the Dallas Cowboys of the early Dak Zeke year. So even if you know what's coming, they were still moving you out of the way. And the Giants don't have that. So I think you just stop Saquon, and then Daniel Jones is like, I got to throw this to Darius Slayton. And Darius Slayton is all right, but he's like a max third on a good
if that. Yeah, I think you're being generous. Yeah,
like a third, fourth. Hell, he's on the Bengals. He's on the practice squad.
Not even on the field.
So I'll just real quick. I'll look at it. Let's go to the Giants right here. Yeah, Darius Slayton 3 for 63. Richie James 5 for 41. Isaiah Hodgins 3 for 31. Chris Myrick 1 for 23. Lawrence Cager 1 for 20. You ever seen that SpongeBob meme? Who are you people? That's how I feel. So, I think you just stop Saquon, you stop the Giants, and that's what the Cowboys did, obviously, and it's a good win for them. And Gridiron, I think you might be right. I think we're looking at a 7-2 start with a bad ending, because I see people, they'll sweep the Commanders. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, not the way they're playing, not the way the Commanders are playing right now. When it's 6 out of 7, the way they're hot right now. They're one of the hottest teams in football.
If the Giants were fully healthy, maybe,
yeah,
but they're not. Who are you throwing to?
Right.
At least earlier you had
Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, Sterling Shepard. You had, Wan'Dale Robinson looked good for a
Yes,
little bit. Even then, though, it's like, okay, you have a bunch of twos, maybe.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And that's why it's so tough for me to evaluate Daniel Jones, because he doesn't have elite guys on the outside. And if I'm the opposing team, man, on the PowerPoint on Tuesday, on Tuesday when we get back, we play the Giants. It's just stop Saquon and we win. That's the first thing I'm telling my team. It's straight up, stop Saquon and don't turn the ball over, and we win the game. Because there's just the offense outside of that play to Slayton in the first quarter. It really wasn't anything going else for the New York Giants, and that just speaks to what they just haven't been able to do in terms of getting the elite guys on the outside. And this is a new regime. This is their first year, so you have to be patient for sure.
Yeah,
but I think in due time they'll be all right. To me, they look like the team that's going to slip. Because because like even the Commanders, you could say, okay, Jones and Heineke, okay, you could say that's a wash. But when you look at McLaurin and Curtis Samuel now seems to be healthy and he has it going. Then you got Brian Robinson Jr., Antonio Gibson in the backfield. So and then plus of course the defense with that front seven. Right.
Chase Young back.
Chase Young is back. Montez Sweat, all those guys in that front seven are dominant. So I could definitely see them taking a step back. They look like the team in that division that's definitely going to struggle going forward. And then for the Cowboys, you're absolutely right. If this is any other team, they take this L. You can't have. Well, I guess you could have lapses like this now, but come playoff time, it can't happen, especially if you're on the road. It looks like the way it's looking like right now, they're going to be on the road. They're going to have to go on the road at least one or two times if they want to get to the Super Bowl. So if you're on the road, you can't have a first half like that. And I wasn't really impressed by Dallas's win because they still had a lot of penalties, something that they've struggled with still. It's just I just can't fathom how you could lack so much discipline like this in these last three. Ever since Mike McCarthy's been the head coach, they've been leading the league in penalties. I know it's hard to judge Jones based on his receiver talent, but at the same time, this is his fourth year, right? It is his fourth year, but then we have to look at the 4 years. Dysfunction.
Yeah, it was what?
3 head coaches. Yeah.
Ben McAdoo, Joe Judge.
Pat Sherman.
Listen, I've made it clear I don't like Daniel Jones. I don't think you can do anything with him. At the same time, it is tough.
I think they're going to tag him. I think it's just smart to tag him, get talent around him, and then if he's dirt next year with talent, then you have your answer. But for them to get the 7 wins, he has played cleaner football than he's played over his first 3 years.
He's taking care of the turnover thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, and I think that's the big thing that Mara and that front office wanted to see is could he clean the turnover? Can he clean up the turnovers? And the question to that is yes, and that's why they have the record that they have right now. Anything could happen, but I just think Dallas's win, it was a good win. It was a necessary win. They needed it. But going forward, if they want to beat teams like Philadelphia, or they see it one more time, San Francisco, you can't have a game. Minnesota again. I promise you, Minnesota wants that back in blood. I promise you that. There's no way. Yeah, there's no way they want that one back. They want that one back. So they have to clean some things up. The penalties are just inexcusable, man. I just don't understand how you can have so many penalties like this. It's just it's crazy, and it's not just a 1-game thing. It's a 3-year thing for this team under Mike McCarthy. So, I could say they got to clean it up, but they just haven't. So there's no point in me even saying that. Michael Gallup looked great. He's just looking healthy each and every game. He just makes catches there. I'm just like, all right, yeah, he's getting close to 100%. CeeDee Lamb. Really get after the catch. That was his calling card at Oklahoma. That's why he got drafted so high. When he gets the football in his hands, and once he breaks that tackle, it's tough. It's tough to get him on the ground. He's going to get the yak. He played great. If they get Odell, it's over. It's over. And when I say it's over, I don't mean Super Bowl. I mean just the offense is just the complementary football. It's going to be tough to stop them. And they also have 3 tight ends that are really, that could block and catch the football, and Hendershot, Ferguson, and Schultz. So it's on Dak, like you said. It's on Dak. If Dak play a clean game, manage the game, you don't have to be a superhero, man. You don't. You don't have to be. You could be Clark Kent and win the game. There's nothing wrong with being. There's nothing wrong with being Clark Kent in this situation.
I think this is the year whatever NFC team doesn't make it to the Super Bowl looks back and, damn, did we miss an opportunity? Because I don't think. I mean, the Eagles are, I guess, because they're 10-1, and they're doing their thing. And I mean, the Vikings are 9-2, but like, do you look at anybody in the NFC and they're like, that's an unbeatable team? I mean, obviously, listen, the Eagles are going to play like they do last night
on Sunday night, right?
Or Sunday night, yeah. I mean, you got 350 rushing yards, yeah, you might be, but I mean, I just don't look at any of these teams as like absolute slam dunk. Like, I think the Vikings could do something. I think the Eagles could do something. I mean, listen, we do make the joke about the Cowboys every year, but they have a very good defense and offensive weapons. Like, yeah, I do think they could do something. The way San Francisco is playing, I think they could do something. I think you look at all of those teams, though, and you don't find, like, the absolute juggernaut. And I think whatever team, if you lose this year, you're like, damn. You remember 2022 when we didn't have Brady destroying us and Rodgers destroying us, and the Rams failed with their super team, and this, that, whatever. I think teams are going to look back and be like, bro, what did we do? I really do. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. It makes it for a very fun NFC because, like I said, all those teams that I just mentioned before, like you think that I think that a lot of teams can go on a run, but for the teams that get knocked out, you got to look at this and be like, I can't believe we missed that chance. Like and that's especially how I look at it as a Cowboys fan. Like, I feel like even in the past couple of years where they have lost, like there have been those teams where you're like, I can't believe anybody's going to beat them. Like the year that the Bucs won the Super Bowl, I was like, that made sense. That made sense to me. They just looked like from that bye week on, unbelievable.
Yes.
The Rams from their bye week on, it was like, oh, okay, they're not very beatable. But like this
is the stretch right here. We've got 6 weeks left, so this this time frame is we're really going to see because you're right. When we look at these Super Bowl teams, it's not just they don't just get hot when the playoff starts. They're on like a 5-6 game win streak. Starting at the end of the regular season, going into the playoffs. So this is the momentum period in this regular season, pushing for that playoff push for these teams. And I'm with you. There isn't a clear cut favorite in the NFC, and I think that's good. I think that's going to make some great football. All of those teams at the top, Philadelphia, Dallas, and Minnesota, they all have some flaws here and there. I mean, obviously, I would say Philadelphia less flaws than. Yeah, that was a good point, Connie. That was a good point, Connie. I think Philadelphia less than Minnesota and Dallas, but still and San Francisco, but nonetheless not beatable in terms of they can't be stopped. So I think it's going to make some great football in these next couple weeks, and I'm excited to see how it plays out. Is glad to see Zeke looking healthier.
Yeah,
he's not 100%. He's looking much healthier, able to run that football. You said 92 yards and a touchdown. Average game by Dallas, but they have a lot of things they need to clean up.
I would agree. Listen.
Yeah, you start, man. You go ahead. You do it. You start.
The nightcap of Thursday, Thanksgiving. The Vikings take
last game of the night too. Oh, man.
Last game of the night. Of course, this is when Vic comes in. Make way. Playoff contenders coming through, and I'm not talking about the Ravens. What's going on there, brother?
What's going on, my guy?
Listen, Pats take on the Vikings, and this is almost how I felt the last couple of years. Because this is the best game the offense has played the entire season. And I mean, it wasn't even close. You can give me the Bailey Zappi against the Lions. The Lions had the worst defense in like NFL history going into that game. Don't care. They looked unbelievable in this game. And of course, nothing else did. I just don't understand. Like you just don't put together a performance like that. I mean, Mac Jones was out here looking like Brady. 28 to 39, 382, 2 touchdowns. Best game of his career. Not even close. I mean,
Not even close. Like,
not even. I mean, come on.
I mean, it's a young career, but yes,
But
definitely the best game.
I mean, Nelson Aguilar, 6 for 65 at a touchdown. About time. Ramondre Stevenson had 9 catches out of the backfield, only 36 yards on the ground, but he's my number 1 back moving forward. Great for fantasy value too. So glad I picked him up earlier in the season. But like, what are we doing? We give up a kick return touchdown. That doesn't happen. Like that doesn't happen. The Patriots do special teams very good, which is why it always has annoyed me that while every other team in the entire league kicks the ball out of the back of the end zone, we're always a team that kicks it to the 1 and makes them return it. Now, listen, there aren't many kick return touchdowns in the NFL. I think last week when Devin Duvernay had one like the first week of the season. I don't think I had seen one since then. And then Patterson did it last week. And then obviously there was the one in this game. So there's only been 3 all year and however many kickoffs. But still, when you don't kick it out of the back of the end zone, you give the opportunity for this to happen. Now, I'm not saying all of a sudden because we give up 1, it's a bad strategy, whatever. Because I get the field position thing. We usually do come up and gang tackle them probably around the 20. So they're not getting to the 25, save those 5 yards. I guess. Cool. But we give up the touchdown right after we went down and scored. So we had some positive momentum, and I think that was after a turnover as well. So, not exactly what you want. Then you have the running into the punter when it's like a 4th and 3. You give them the first down. They go down and score a touchdown. I almost threw my controller through my TV. It was a very close thing. Almost. Black Friday. I could have just bought a new one. You know what I mean?
Just about half off.
And then you cannot to this very second. Listen, it is. I'll even go on my phone right now. It is 9:47, and looking at the clock app, it is 9:47 and 25 seconds. You cannot tell me that wasn't a touchdown for Hunter Henry. The NFL does not know what a catch is. We have gone over this 100 times ever since the Dez thing, whatever. You have to survive through the ground. That people are zooming in different angles. That ball did not touch the ground. His hand is underneath it. It bobbles and it lands in his chest. That is a touchdown. 10 out of 10 times. They take that off. I think they only kick a field goal from there. And then, last drive of the game was literally pointless because there was no time left on. And
Mac should have threw the ball away instead of taking that sack.
That's another. Yes. Absolutely should have thrown the ball away instead of taking the sack. Obviously, you just waste a bunch of time, and then the end of the game comes and absolutely nothing happens. But yeah, I mean, listen, is the positive takeaway the offense? Yeah. But I mean, the Vikings defense, listen, we all talked about how, we thought they were they're not very good. Vikings defense isn't very good.
I believe they're either dead last or second to last in pass defense.
So I mean, yeah, this is why I always like the whole circumstance thing. Should I be happy? I guess. But then you look at it too. Oh, this defense hasn't given up this many points in how long? Well, guess what? We played the Jets with Zach Wilson, who is not even the starting quarterback anymore. Played them twice, and then in between that, who did they play?
Played golf. Wilson twice.
I mean,
Fields.
And we got torn up by Fields.
Right. Trubisky. Not elite guys. And he's
the defense good, hoorah, whatever. We finally played an offense that's good. You give up 33 points. So
gave up 37 to Lamar.
It's the same. Like CJ, it's the same thing over the past couple of years. Everybody gets excited about the defense. Oh, this is a good defense. And then you play a good team, and you're like, oh, yeah, maybe not. Maybe not as good. Listen, they're playing the Bills this upcoming week, and we'll get to our predictions later on. I don't got much faith. But
Bills haven't looked, like a juggernaut like we thought they would when we saw them blast the Rams in the first game of the season. They could be beat. They could be beat.
The Bills haven't punted in the last 2 games against us. They haven't punted.
Now they're formidable. Don't get me wrong, but we still split last year. And I know, listen, that Monday Night Football game was an anomaly, but a split is a split. And so,
yeah.
And this one's in Foxborough, so you would hope you get this one. You have to get this one because the one in Buffalo the day after Christmas, who knows what that weather is going to be like.
You're a clown.
Can't be slinging game tackle without warning captions.
You get the wrong
idea.
This guy man. Can't take him nowhere.
Oh man, this guy. Yeah, this was a very interesting game. I missed a big portion of the game, and then I ended up watching it back and seeing everything. But before I watched it back, everything was just Hunter Henry screenshots of him on the zoomed in of his hand on the football. I mean, it was insane. That was my whole timeline was people's food in Hunter Henry's hands. Like that was the whole timeline on Twitter. It was insane. But yeah, this was a good offensive game from the Patriots. Wow, golf clap. It took 12 weeks to get 26 points before the third quarter or before the end of the fourth quarter. Congratulations. I mean, I'm not overly impressed by that. Mac Jones, he did look good, 382 yards, no question, the best game of his young career. It's tough for me to really be optimistic about the offense because Minnesota's pass defense is so bad. I mean, they gave up 40 to the Cowboys of the week before. Not a catch. But the rules changed after that.
The rules have changed since
Dez they changed the rules after the Dez catch. But yeah, the Vikings pass defense is so putrid. It's like, am I happy that that Mac had a great game? The offense was able to get it clicking, get it going. Yes, but I need to see more consistency. I'm not gonna come out and just be like, oh yeah, the tables has turned. The switch. This is the switch. Nah.
It's like your boy comes and tells you he can dunk now, and then you go look at the rim and set at 7 feet.
Yeah, exactly. I just need to see some more from this team. And I knew Minnesota was gonna come and play just a better game because of how they played last week on their home field. It's just inevitable. There was no way they were gonna come out and get blasted again on their home field on Thanksgiving. Everybody's watching the game. Everybody's family's watching the game. Probably got all their families at the game. No way they was about to get blasted two weeks in a row.
Dude, we made primetime Kirk Cousins look good.
But again, this is what I mean. Yeah, he did throw an interception. It was a close game outside, but we just had too many mistakes. We had more mistakes than they did. I mean, it's just that simple. You talked about it. The kick return. This is on special teams too, which special teams saved us last week, and then special teams hurt us this week. It's just the nature of football. But yeah, that kick return for a touchdown, very rare, very rare. I don't even remember the last time I've seen.
Never.
I haven't seen it in a long time from the Patriots, but it's very rare. I have not seen that in a while. So that caught me off guard. And then, we was about to get the ball back, and then the roughing the kicker call, which gave them the drive in order for them to get the lead. The pass to Adam Thielen, great pass, great catch by Adam Thielen from Cousins. And that was pretty much all she wrote. That's pretty much all she wrote right there. We tried to get one more drive to try to tie it, but the sack, I think it was 3rd and 7. Mac takes a sack. Now it's 4th and 17. Yeah. I was like, yeah, it's over. It's over after that. So I like their effort. They played good. They played solid. Again, offensively, but just defensively. Justin Jefferson, 9 receptions, $139, I believe 2 touchdowns. Just too elite. And again, we caught them on a bad week. We caught them on a week where they just got blasted. And Dallas caught them on a good week where they just had an emotional win against Buffalo. So they caught them where everything, they were riding high, the confidence was good. The Pats kept turning the ball over and catching more yellow flags for Ronaldo and soccer.
We didn't turn it over, did we? We had a turnover?
I don't think we had a turnover. No.
Or was there no, there was no fumble, was there? I don't think we had any turnovers.
It was a good back and forth game. It was a good back and forth game offensively.
The Vikings also had the ball 13 minutes longer than us too. That doesn't help.
Yeah, but a lot of that was that last drive, right? When to Thielen, a lot of those minutes came from that last drive.
I mean, hey, it's still time of possession.
No, for sure, for sure. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, good. Solid performance by the Patriots, but a lot more they need to clean up. I need to see consistency from the offense again, and it's just going to be a big test in a couple of days against Buffalo and New England. So they need to get ready for that and really lock in. And for Minnesota, this was a good win for them also after that, disaster 2 weeks ago. And they need to get one back. And they did. 9-2. Their only 2 losses are against, two of the other best teams in the NFC. So it's not, nothing to be completely, upset about, because you could potentially see those teams again down the road and get that back. They could easily get both of those L's back easily. We've seen it plenty of times in the NFL where teams either sometimes get swept in the regular season if it's a divisional rival, or take a L and they get blown out, and then when the playoffs come around, they win the game, like at Saints Bucks. So many other scenarios and situations.
Jags that 1 year.
Pats, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Pats, Jags. They got us in the regular season. We got them back in the playoffs. Exactly. So Minnesota, I think they're still on the right track. Yes, we know Kirk Cousins is flawed. Primetime Kirk is ass. He struggles. But you just gotta hope that he has a clean game, and they really need to put that focus. The focus of the offense should be more on Dalvin Cook first, then Kirk. I think that just makes things much easier for Kirk. If you're asking him to do so much, that's when you start to see primetime Kirk show up, and he starts to struggle, and it looks bad. So as long as they keep the main thing, which is Dalvin Cook, I think they'll be all right.
I would say you can't beat a good team 3 times.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. All right, let's get to the rest of these games.
Right, I can't lie to you. Can't lie to you.
Broncos of the Panthers.
I don't listen. Congrats, Panthers. I didn't think they would have it in them. I feel disgusting talking about the Broncos. Like it's unbelievable. This didn't hit my TV screen one time. I also had a long night the night before. Kind of slept through the first half of the games because I had to take a little nap. So I missed. Actually, no, not the first half. I watched the first half. Fell asleep for like the third quarter into like the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter for all these games. So missed some, but I just the Broncos are terrible. I mean, 10 points. They have the lowest scoring offense since I think it'd be the second lowest scoring offense in the NFL since the Browns 1 year when they averaged 10 points a game, which I don't even know how the hell that is possible to do.
Must have been the 0-16 Browns.
A touchdown's worth 7. You can't average more than 10. I mean, come on. But listen. Sam Darnold got his, first win this season coming off of the injury and everything like that.
3 quarterbacks have started for that franchise this year. 3.
Not exactly how you win football games, exactly. But hey, congrats. You got Russell Wilson getting yelled at by one of the defenders. I mean, 19 for 35, 142 and a touchdown. I'd probably be yelling too. I mean, it's just
yeah, of course. I mean, the defensive. It's not. It's not at all. It's not. The defense has carried them all season. I'm surprised this hasn't happened sooner. With players getting after him, telling him they wake up. Like, what are you guys doing? I think Nathaniel Hackett, I think, is going to get fired.
Has to.
He's going to get fired
because you can't move on from Russell. You got to make
No, not at all. Not at all. Someone has to go. Broncos country, let's die. That's funny. Hackett's time is up, and we've seen coaches coach for 1 year and get cut.
Shout out Steve Wilkes.
Nothing. Shout out Steve Wilkes. Speaking of this guy that got the W on 3-0.
Yeah,
at home as the Carolina Panthers head coach. So he's the guys are playing for him. They're playing for him. Deontay Foreman, man, picked him up in fantasy. well, I mean, he's been a godsend. He's been a godsend, and for that team, they lost McCaffrey. It seems like he's going to be that bell cow for them going forward. DJ Moore, bless his soul, man. It's, so much mid and dirt has been around him his entire career.
He probably thought he was out of there at the trade deadline too.
I think he's gonna. I could see him get traded at the draft, like an AJ Brown situation.
Yeah.
I could see it. I could see one of these teams right now, contenders that maybe they're not able to get the guy they want in the draft, and they make a move and get a guy like DJ Moore to enhance their team, because he's so talented, and he's just look at the quarterback carousel that he's had to go through. Cam, Baker, it's just Darnold. It's been PJ Walker. It's insane. It's insane. Kyle Allen. It's been insane. Some of the things that he's had to go through. So I think he's going to be traded. And then for Denver, let's just think about when they were successful. What was in place? They had a great run game. Marshawn Lynch. I was running that football, and they had a great defense. That's so what they have right now in Denver, they have a great defense. They don't have a great run game. And this let Russ cook thing is like, it's really just, it should be let Russ manage the game.
He's cooking ice soup right now.
That's what it needs to be. Let Russ manage the game, because let Russ cook is not a formula for success right now. Is it play calling? I think it plays a big factor. Is it the intangibles of the head coach in terms of leadership and galvanizing these guys in order to come out and play every Sunday? That plays a factor. Is it some of it Russell Wilson? Sure. But like you said, Russell Wilson's not going to – they're not cutting him. They just gave him an extension for 5 more years. So
I think they still owe him like $150 million.
Insane. So Hackett has to go. And if they whatever new head coach they get, or even if they keep him next year, their identity has to be running the football. So they need to make sure that offensive line is stout. It's stout. It wasn't great when Russell got there. It was average, and then it got worse because guys got hurt. Right. Yes. Xavier Rhodes broke his leg. Guys started to get hurt. So it's just a struggle. It's just a struggle for them right now. Russ committing committing bank robbery. Yeah. It's a heist. It's a heist right now. But I think he's in there for the long haul. I think he'll be all right down the road. As long as they get that right guy head coach, they have to.
Denver needs a new GM like Joe Douglas. I mean, hey, they've hit on some draft picks. I mean, Surtain was good. Bradley Chubb was good.
Justin Simmons, Javonte Williams, Sutton, Judy. They have talent. I mean, we thought this team would be much. We thought this team would be easy.
Judy's been disappointing to me.
Yeah, he's been out. He's been in and out. He's been out of the lineup because of injuries. Hasn't been consistent. So yeah, I'll just say Sutton. He's more productive. He's been much more consistent than Judy for sure. But then they ended up trading him to Seattle, but that was somebody that they had drafted. So their drafting isn't the problem. It's the coach. They didn't get the right coach.
They hadn't had a quarterback. And listen, probably go back. I think I had the Broncos third in the division. Probably. Well, I'm pretty sure I had them at probably over 10 wins, because I thought everybody in the AFC West was going to make it, just like how it looks like the NFC East, everybody in the playoffs is making it right now. And I mean, just an absolute abject failure.
Yeah,
there's nothing else. It's just a failure.
Yeah, for sure. And you just have to go back to the drawing board in the off season and make sure that you make sure everything is all good. You have to, from a head coach standpoint, and so from Russell Wilson's standpoint as well. But they have to build that team exactly how I just said. Just look at this. Just look at the Super Bowl when they went back to back in the Super Bowl appearances.
Marshawn Lynch, LOB.
That's it. You have to make things easier for quarterbacks, even if they're great. It's just, if you make it simpler, if you make it simple for the quarterbacks, you're going to have more success.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of not having success, The Bucks this season, another team that obviously, you got a load of talent over there. You thought they would be very good. Not looking so good. 5-6 record. They're still in first place because the NFC South is just not very good. And NFC South kind of, meet the NFC East for all those past years. They dropped to 5-6 after losing an overtime game to the Browns. A nice drive put together at the end of the game by Jacoby Brissett and company. Led to a David Njoku one-hander right there in the back of the end zone. Beautiful catch
Great
by
catch.
him.
Yes.
Then overtime, I think the Bucks started with it. Couldn't do anything on offense. Had to punt. Browns go down. They end up scoring after a nice pass. I can't remember to who, to be honest. Not the look over got me crying. A nice pass down the sideline got him to about like the 5, and then Chubb punched it in for the touchdown. But I don't know. I just feel like this has been the story for the Bucks. It's kind of like, oh, a good drive. Maybe they're back. Like they figured it out. And then it's like, okay, never mind. Like they haven't done anything. I mean, listen, Brady was 29-43, 2 touchdowns, didn't throw an interception again. I think he has the best touchdown to interception ratio in the entire NFL. He also still hasn't thrown a red zone interception since being on the Bucks. He has like 73 touchdowns, no interceptions in the red zone since joining the Bucks. Crazy. But I mean, Godwin, that's the thing you can take positive back. I mean, 12 catches, 110 yards in this, and a touchdown. Only concerning thing, Mike Evans, these past few weeks, not really showing up, not really there like he has been the past few years. Now, I don't think he's washed all of a sudden. I don't think, anything's going on. But, obviously you got to try to get him involved in the offense more. I wish I could tell you what White did rushing the ball, but, NFL.com apparently just doesn't feel like posting his stats. It says that their leading rusher was Julio Jones with 1 carry for 15 yards. I know that's not true. But, yeah, I mean, for the Bucks, it just hasn't been
it could be.
No.
They have not great running football.
No, trust me. I got White on I picked him up on fantasy. I didn't start him, but I picked him up so nobody else could get him. Because I am the absolutely that guy. I can tell you right now. Actually, I can log on. He had 14 carries, 64 yards. So
64 yards. Okay.
And I think he also 9 catches for 45 yards as well. So a nice little option back out there. But yeah, it's just. Listen, it's just time to say that it's not their year. Like, listen, you probably could have said that a couple weeks ago, probably at the, when they're on that 3-game losing streak that they were on. But yeah, it's just not the year. I mean, obviously, it's kind of like the Rams. We thought that, like, oh, okay, you had Julio, you got Mike Evans and Godwin there. Brady's coming back, and then you figured out Brady was dealing with some things that get solved, and they go 2-0 after that, and then they end up losing this game, and I don't know. It's just not. It's not clicking for him. I don't see him doing much in the playoffs, even though, it is Brady, you don't bet against him and whatever.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It's just not there. I don't know exactly what it is. That's the other thing. Like the run defense of the Bucs has been just unbelievable for the past how many years? Like they were always number 1 in rushing. Browns had 189 rushing yards in this game.
Yeah, Chubb went crazy, bro.
They ran the ball all over them. So
that's what they do.
But what the Bucs have done the past however many years was stop the run. You got Vita Vea up there. You got a bunch of people. Couldn't do it in this one. 116 yards for Chubb. Not exactly what you want. Schwartz had that little end around thing for 31 yards in the touchdown. Like it's just not there for them this year. Godwin was having a down year. Obviously, he was coming off the injury, missed a couple weeks because he got re-hurt. But I think this is the game where he's finally like, okay, maybe I'm back. Like I said, 12 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. That can obviously be a very big confidence booster. I mean, we said it about Christian Watson. Now all of a sudden, this man can't stop scoring touchdowns. And I think he has more receiving touchdowns than like Devontae, Tyreek. Oh no, not Devontae. Devontae leads the NFL. Tyreek, like a bunch of these players. Yeah, like a bunch of the top guys. Justin Jefferson, like Christian Watson on a streak now. But yeah, it's just not it for the Bucs. And then for the Browns, listen, it's a good win. It's just a shame you couldn't do this more. Because if the Browns could have won, listen, if they are 5-6 right now, like if they're where the Bucs are, or like they're 6-5.
6-5, yeah.
Bro, if they're 6-5, you're right there. But you like, how do you like that Jet game? At the end of the season, if you miss the playoffs by a couple games, you're gonna go back to that Jet game and be like, how did we do that? Like, there's just those couple games because obviously, like, all the off the field things, I know we're not talking about it. Sean's back this week, back on the 53-man roster. He's starting up against his former team in Houston. You would have had a real good chance at
What a
making the playoff.
storyline.
You see that 10 of the people that accused him are going to the game as well. That ought to be something. But yeah, so good win for the Browns. It's just not it for the Bucs this year. Not it for the Browns this year either. Unfortunately, next year when it's Deshaun the whole season, obviously depending on how he looks when he comes back, because you got to remember the man hasn't played football in 2 years, so got to see how he is when he comes back. But a fun game. It was a fun game though. I will say that
It was a fun game. It was definitely a fun game. It was close. It went down to the wire, like you talked about, overtime game. And the reason why the Bucks just haven't been the Bucks like have we seen of old, a couple of reasons. One, you talked about a few of them. Inside out, it's just not the same. You know, their offensive line, their defensive line is just not as dominant as it was in the years past. That offensive line is depleted. They lost guys due to retirement or injuries. Tristan Wirth got hurt again. He's going to be out a couple of weeks, and that was their best offensive line.
yeah, that's not what you needed. I think Ryan Jensen killed them too.
Yeah, that was a big loss. That was a big loss. No question. And that's the reason for a lot of it. That's why they haven't been able to run the football as successfully as they might like to. And then defensively, yeah, it's just weird. They're usually known for stopping the run. They've been so dominant at that under Todd Bowles as a defensive coordinator. As a head coach, yeah, it's different. I'm telling you, it's different. It's different. Everybody wants to anoint a coordinator as becoming this next great head coach, but there's so many factors into being a great head coach, and management, time management. Look at Jeff Saturday last night on Monday Night Football. You have like a minute 30 left for 3 timeouts. You let the clock go all the way down to 30 seconds. When you should have called a timeout, let those guys get a breather, and then get a good play called. Didn't happen. Lost, took the L. And that's going to be a factor for a lot of these teams. And when it comes to time management, and Todd Bowles at times hasn't been the best at that. And it's just been a struggle. It's been a struggle this year. You know, you see a Brady-led team only getting 17 points with Godwin and Mike Evans out there on the field. You know, it's definitely some questions. But when you don't have that offensive line and Brady doesn't have enough time to get those guys to football like he likes, if he has to speed up his mental clock in order to get the ball out, it's going to be difficult to have success. So,
and that run game.
Yes, exactly, and then no run game to fall back on either. So it's been difficult for Tampa Bay this year, but I still feel like they're gonna make the playoffs and get in, because that division is so bad. They're fortunate that they're very fortunate that they're in a terrible division. So they could get in, and unlike those other teams at the top of the NFC, the Bucks are battle tested. They have the playoff experience. Maybe outside of San Francisco, will probably be the only other team at the top of the NFC right now that doesn't have that. I mean, that has that experience in the postseason, and that plays a factor. So we'll see once they actually get in what happens and what that team is looking like and how well they're playing. But as it stands today, I'm not confident in their Super Bowl chances at all. I think Brady does come back. I think he does come back after this year. I think the main reason why he thought about retirement was the situation with Giselle, and Giselle wanted him to stop playing football, and he didn't want to stop playing football. And now that that's over, now I do what I want. It's a movie, you know.
I was just about to say shout out to him.
Yeah, it's like I can do what I want now, you know. So no one can tell me nothing. And then I think he's gonna come back and give it. He said 50. I mean, he's been playing for 50 for the last decade. So I'm not gonna.
And that's the thing too. It's not like, you know, like Peyton in that last year. It was tough watch. It was a tough watch. I mean, like I said, Brady, I think he's, you know, up there in pass attempts and completion percent and completions and things like that, whatever. So it's not like he's out here like it's a tough watch for him or he's doing terrible. Best touchdown to interception ratio in the league. It's just not enough.
Yeah, it's just not enough. And then for the Browns, man, I think the way Jacoby Brissett has been playing over this last month or so, this is his last game as a starter this season. I think he might have gave himself an opportunity to be a starter on another team next year again. He did struggle earlier in the season, but this last month he's been playing well. So I could see him being another bridge quarterback somewhere, getting a shot and making an opportunity, and hopefully it sticks for him. Wish him the best. It was tough watching Big Ben last year too. Brady is no. He's not near that. He's not near that.
Like you can't it's not even a washed thing.
No, it's not. It's just it's just team. It's just a roster depleted because of injuries and other circumstances. So Sean Watson coming back, yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. I mean, before he left, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and now he's in a division that's stacked, completely stacked. And the Bengals, with the Bengals and the Ravens right there, and the Steelers, you just can't sleep on because they have a great defense, and Mike Tomlin coaches that team. So you just can't. That's not an easy W. It's just not. Especially in the AFC North, there's no easy W's. So, man, we'll see what these next 6 games are looking like for the Browns. It could be
10-7.
You think they could win 6 in a row?
I'm just saying. Imagine.
I mean, that'd be insane. That'd be a hell of a story if Deshaun could come back and they go 6-0.
Because I mean, like you would expect his first game back to be pretty bad, but they're playing the Texans.
Yeah. Oh, right, exactly.
So talk about perfect game to come back. You're playing a trash team, and it's like, okay, I can get my bearings back. I can get hit a little bit. Remember what football is like, and then we're here on.
And it's his former team, the team that how this whole thing started. So that's a big game, man. That's a big. Yeah, I think it's in Cleveland. That's a big game, man.
I'm excited to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
I am. I really am. And then the article that you told about the ESPN. That's, to me, it's weird. It's weird to me that you're gonna pay tickets to go see your accuser. You're putting money in his pockets. And
the game is in Texas, so I guess you look at it as not because the money's not going to the Browns. I guess I'm just picking at straws here. Because right. Texas, so it's not like you're not paying the Browns, so you're not paying him. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not in the situation, obviously. So they, if they think that's what they should do, you go ahead and do it. I wouldn't, but like I said,
it's just weird. It's just
I ain't telling other people how to feel. So go ahead.
To me, their lawyer Busby, he seems like a guy that that really loves the attention. Just based off some of the interviews I've seen him in, and just over these last couple of years, and then everybody thinks all lawyers are saints. No, they're not. They
I watch Better Call Saul.
Yeah, they just want to win. That's their goal. Whatever they could do to win, they're gonna cheat, lie, do anything possible to win their case. That's what they do. They do the dirt. Have you seen How to Get Away or that Breaking Bad or How to Get Away with Murder too? With Viola Davis, sneaky, did everything under the sun to win the case. Dirty stuff. So that's what they do, man. That's what they do, and I just feel like it's just weird, man. I mean, I just let it go. In my opinion, just let it go. I mean, if he really did that to you, and that was so heinous and terrible as that was, why would you want to take yourself back to that place mentally, let alone go to his job? Essentially, just playing football. That's weird, but nonetheless, he is back. He served his suspension, and we're gonna see what this Cleveland Brown team looks like because they have been playing pretty well. They've taken some L's here and there, but they have played pretty well. Amari Cooper is playing some of his best football of his career, I would say, and that's with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. Nick Chubb, it's just steady. I mean, it's just you could book 100 plus easy, maybe 110 plus a game every single Sunday with him. He's just been so dominant pretty much ever since he got drafted. So a lot of the division got very interesting. This division got very interesting, especially with this team that we're about to dive into right now. So we got the Ravens and the Jacksonville Jaguars. This was a close game, but it shouldn't have been a close game. The Ravens had multiple opportunities to get this W, but
3 drop touchdown passes.
Three drop touchdown passes. I don't even want to really get. I mean, I kind of want to get into the game, but I want to get into after the game. And after the game, when the dude, because that's the spicy stuff. That's the drama. I want to get to post game first.
Here's the thing. Just on the game.
Yeah. You get
the Ravens have 4 losses this season. CJ, do you know what they have in common with all 4 of those?
Blown leads.
No. Double digit blown leads. Double digits. You're blowing leads. I mean, come on. You got to finish these games out. Like, you can make such a strong case that they should be undefeated. Like, if you just play normal football, like that Miami game, I mean, how do you lose that one?
That Miami game was bad.
No, that's one of the worst games. That's one of the worst blown leads I've ever seen.
That was 35-14, something like that.
Something like that. I mean, and Miami just came back, ding, ding, ding. I mean, unbelievable. But I mean, yeah, good win. And did you after the game? Actually, no, you're right. I want to skip to after the game too. And with the Lamar thing and with the Jags thing too, though. Because did you see what the Jag safety said? I figure you're talking about the Lamar thing, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about
Lamar. Did you see what the Jags safety said?
No, what did he say?
He was like, "Oh, I'm so happy for Trevor Lawrence this season because he had Urban Meyer last year, so I don't even know if he really had a rookie year." And then he was like, "I would die for Doug Peterson. I'm going into battle with him." So, yeah, I mean, if the players are, he literally said, Urban Meyer was the coach last year, so I don't even know if he had a rookie season. Like, I'm not making that was literally his quote.
I mean, you've said something like that.
Oh, no. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I absolutely agree with him. That's why I had to say it's his quote and not mine, because I have literally said that. So I want to make sure that people knew. But yeah, listen, this is what you want for the Jags. Like, you want to see it's another thing, steady improvements. Kirk looks like a guy. This might have been Trevor Lawrence's best game.
No question.
I mean, he looked good.
He did,
especially that last drive too.
Big time throws.
That throw over to the sideline, on I think it was on the 4th down.
Yeah, beautiful throw to Marvin Jones, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a beautiful throw. So, you want to see the improvements there. Jags get a nice win here. Ravens just another bad loss, almost won the game. This man Justin Tucker just made everybody hold their breath for a 67-yard field goal. Like, he missed it by 3 yards.
Literally, of power. Yeah, it's you shouldn't have to ask him to do that, but I mean he's done that so many times for the Ravens. It was a tough L, which for the Ravens. I'm gonna get to the post game for Baltimore, but I just want to talk about Jacksonville. You talked about this is what we wanted to see, and this is what we kind of talked about before the season started, right? We said we want to see how they play. We know that they're not going to win a lot of games because they don't have that roster yet. They don't have that full roster yet, but watching the games, what do they look like? And I think a win like this and getting W's against teams that people would expect them not to get a W against. These are the type of wins and games that we like to see going forward for younger teams. You're asking, you can't, when you get drafted number 1 overall and you're the quarterback, you can't save the franchise in 1 year. No, you can't. And like we just talked about, his first year was one of the worst years for a rookie quarterback in NFL history. Yes, it's one of the worst years for a rookie quarterback ever in terms of situation. Terrible situation. Has he stepped up too? Yes, he has. Yes, he's been playing big time. Yes, he has. So now you have structure with a Super Bowl winning head coach and Doug Peterson. You're seeing guys come out publicly saying, they'll die for him. They want to play for him. That's the type of energy that you want. That's the type of head coach that players want and every Sunday in terms of preparation, but then also the intangibles too. So this was good for Jacksonville. So this guy tweets, and man, and then I just happened to go on his profile, and I'm just like, I'm not surprised he tweeted that. I'm not.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of. I went on his profile too.
Not surprised. I'm not surprised he tweeted that. It just falls along the lines of what whoever that guy is. So he goes out and says, and he's trolling. He's trolling. And he did it for clout, and he got the clout that he wanted because Lamar responded to him. So yeah, he just comes out and says, "I shouldn't have to come down to Justin Tucker. You can't play Lamar. Don't play Lamar." And he says, they should use that money to build a well-rounded team. And I'm just like, what? They could have built that team for the entire 4 years before this contract situation for Lamar was even in question. Let's really talk about what Lamar has done in these last 4 years, man, and how he saved this franchise. Seriously, like they were what, 1-5? Then Flacco got hurt. Then he went 6-1 when Lamar came in there and made the playoffs.
Yeah, as
a rookie. Okay, so the next year he wins MVP, bro.
Yeah, he did do that.
Like what?
Can't confirm.
Come on. Like like this
perennial playoffs now. Seems like it at least.
Yes, yeah, you could book it. This man has zero elite weapons on the outside. Not one Pro Bowler. Not one Pro Bowler. His entire career. Pretty much his entire career. He hasn't had one elite Pro Bowl. He hasn't had an elite wide receiver his entire career. No, not one. And this is the guy's won MVP, led the league in touchdowns. And you're talking about what? Don't pay him. Blasphemy. He saved this he saved his franchise. They were going towards, they drafted him. Cool. I mean, great. I mean, first off, he had a better collegiate career than all the people that were ahead of him that he got drafted by. He won the Heisman and made Louisville relevant as a football organization, a basketball organization. Yes, a basketball school. He made them relevant. When he won the Heisman, they have a statue out there for the guy now. So that's okay. Yeah, you drafted him. Great. And then he comes out and plays. You build around his skill set. Great. Yes, that's great, because we've seen in 20 years ago or so when black quarterbacks, athletic quarterbacks, when they get drafted, coaches they had their style, and if that quarterback didn't connect with their style, tough luck, and a lot of these guys and never really got an opportunity because the team then then they didn't build the team around that guy for him to be successful. So I respect the Ravens for doing that. They didn't have to do that. We've seen plenty of teams not do that. So I respect them for that. But this hold up with the money, I feel like it shouldn't even take. Why is it taking this long? It should never took this long for him to get paid.
Oh, hell no.
And now it's going to be a scenario where are they going to be able to, sign some of these top guys, $20-25 million per year, wide receivers? Is that possible? Are they going to have the cap space? Because because Lamar is going to get what, 45, 46 annual.
So, CJ, it might be higher than that. I saw a report that the Eagles might make Jalen Hurts the first $50 million player.
It's easy. Well, before Burrow.
I thought I had heard that they were talking about an extension. I saw it on Twitter. I don't know if it was real or not, but if it is $50 million, what do you got to pay Lamar? 55?
It's gonna be in that ballpark. It's gonna be in that ballpark for sure. And then Lamar responds, and he tells him
this is when our New York comes out, though.
Yeah, he tells him to eat a Frank. That's what he told him. I mean, try to keep it PG. He told him to eat a Frank. That's what he told him to do. And And then ESPN comes out and says that he made an anti-gay remark. I'm just like, all right, that's ESPN. I'm not surprised. There's a fake woke platform, and so he didn't say anything anti-gay. Like, are we serious? But anyways, he shouldn't have. He made a mistake by responding. He should have just not. He shouldn't have responded. No. But he was emotional. He was emotional. Yeah. It was a tough loss. And when you see that from a so-called fan, and this guy what this guy puts his body through every single Sunday, literally running the football and throwing the football. I mean, this team is pure poverty. The team is pure poverty if he's not on the team. They have the first pick every single year if he's not the quarterback. Literally, like you can't even say, oh well, at least they got this guy. You can't say that. Mark Andrews, that's it. One guy. At least they got Mark Andrews. That's about it. The other 9 guys on the offense, you're just like, oh, okay. Oh, he's there? Cool.
Sean Jackson with a nice catch.
With the nice catch. They're banking on Bateman to be what, the savior? No, no. And I think Washington, Duvernay. I mean, these guys, listen, man, get your bread. You're living your dream, but it's still levels when it comes to this wide receiver position, and they're not at that level. They're not even close to that level, bro. And it's difficult. It's difficult for him to be like. How could you just look at those red zone plays? And people are dissecting those plays now. Dan Orlovsky did a really good job of breaking down the plays, and he talked about what he really wanted to say was Greg Roman is trash as a play caller. He just said it without really saying it.
He said it the politically correct way.
Yeah, he said it exactly the ESPN way. That's how he said it, the PC way. And because the play calling was just bad, and the play that he broke down, like, guys are pretty much running the same route. So I'm not sure what you want Lamar to do. So not only do you have lack of talent, you have poor play calling. But somehow this team is still 7-4, and with what you talked about, with an opportunity where they could have been 11-0 had they not blown some of these leads. And maybe if you had a game changer on the outside that could have made a big time play on a third down in a series where you swing the momentum back your way, maybe they have a couple more dubs on their record, but that's not the case. So Lamar, just put your phone down after L's, bro. You know they're coming. Twitter. Twitter is the place of the broken. That's what it is. Twitter is the place of the broken.
Person in the last listen. Social media has made it so that instead of a select few having a voice, the guy all the way in the back of the stands who you can't even see from the field has a voice. Everybody can say anything they want now.
Yeah, you can say anything crazy.
Social media, so there's not going to be any repercussions unless you say something crazy. Then people will come after you, tell your job, whatever. Right. But you can go up there, tell everybody that they're the worst thing at their job ever. What are they? Nobody's gonna. I mean, unless they're psychotic, tracking you down and finding you.
Yeah.
So, it just gives everybody, and like you said, don't need a Frank. Like CJ, that's just a thing to say. People. I mean, listen, I hate pulling the New York card. I do. This guy said here all the time. I saw anti-gay. I said, really, bro?
Exactly.
I said I've seen people say that when in normal conversation.
Yeah, I mean, we live in a sensitive world. But he does have to be better. He has to be the bigger person. He just has to be. He just has to be because
absolutely. Yeah. Responding wasted your time. It was a waste of his time. Because it did nothing for him. It was never going to make him look good. It can literally only make him look bad. That is the only thing it could have done. So, everybody, Hannah Montana said it. Everybody makes mistakes.
Everybody makes mistakes. And I like his response to it, or like kind of like just like his response after all the brown bagger has a voice now, Connie. Exactly. That's exactly what they are.
Almost makes you wonder where all the money is going on that team. Most team overpays trash shoes, but not the Ravens. That's what I'm saying. Bro,
I don't know.
It's what I do with the Patriots. How the hell we got the second most expensive wide receiver room in the NFL? They suck.
They're
Second
terrible.
highest paid wide receiver room in the NFL? How, Sway?
How? And lastly, before we wrap it up here, Lamar's response was gold. There was a clip from Raising Canaan, Marcus. He had like anger problems, and he was going through. He had therapy, and he had an encounter. He was working on his anger. He had an encounter with somebody in the projects, and usually he'll be like the aggressor and like push him away. But he was doing his breathing exercises that he learned in therapy, so he could be more calm and just be more relaxed. So I think that was a really good clip for Lamar in response to all of that. And it just says that, you're not gonna, like you just said, you're not gonna win in that scenario. So just be the bigger person and just put the phone down, let it wait 24 hours.
Absolutely.
All right, we have another team here, man. This team, Miami Dolphins,
they're a wagon, bro.
They're a wagon. And before we get into the game, this is one thing that I wanted to talk about, and this is one thing that I'm a fan of. I saw an article on Barstool, and it talked about Mike McDaniel. I don't know if you saw this or maybe saw this, scrolling the timeline, but it said Mike McDaniel had about 700 plays designed. Yeah, 700 plays designed for Tua the moment he got the job.
Jesus.
So, I mean, what that tells me is, one, Brian Flores had zero faith in Tua Tagovailoa.
Zero.
He just didn't want him as the quarterback, as his quarterback, as being the head coach. When he was the head coach there, and Mike McDaniels, he put his trust in this guy, man. He put his trust in this guy, and it's working. 8-0 in the games he started and finished this year for Tua. You got to put Tyreek Hill in the MVP conversation just based off his impact. I mean, his impact. I mean, have we ever seen a wide receiver with this type of impact in their first year?
Diggs
going from Kansas City. Yeah.
Diggs obviously made Allen unbelievable.
Yes, Diggs. That's
you could say AJ this year.
Sure.
But and that's not even belittling Tyreek, but
right.
It's just, I mean, it's amazing what a good receiver will do, isn't it?
It's also amazing when a coach believes in the quarterback and has faith in the quarterback.
Yeah, that usually helps.
Yes.
Trying to replace you every other day,
every other day
behind the back might not help with the confidence out there on the field.
Not at all. And this team is hitting on all cylinders. Bradley Chubb had it going, had a sack in this game. He's going to be the guy of their future. He's their pass rusher of the future. They locked him up for a few years with the extension as soon as they made the trade. They got some Agba, Jalen Phillips, got kid out of my University of Miami. I think this is his second year now with the Miami Dolphins. He's pretty good. It's crazy. This team had Minka Fitzpatrick a couple years ago too. It's insane. It's insane. Xavier Howard on the outside. They're just playing great complementary football. And you look at look at all the teams in the NFL at the top. Most of them are really well balanced. They have a great run game, great pass game, really good defense. You need balance. You need balance. And I just think that's exactly what Miami is. They're extremely balanced. They can win any different type of way. They can win an ugly game like that game against Buffalo, or they could blow you out like we saw on Sunday against the Texans. So it was 30 to zip at half. It was 30-0 at the half.
Yeah, they had Tua out of this game
quickly. And he had that sack where he kind of his body kind of. Have you seen that? Did you see that?
I didn't see it.
Kind of got you look like a pretzel. It was backward. I was like, oh my god.
I think they took him out with 3 minutes in the third quarter.
In the third, yeah. It was like, for what? There's no point in playing him. If they come back with Kyle Allen, then
you got it.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. If you come back from 30-0 with Kyle Allen as your quarterback,
congrats, brother.
It was your afternoon. Yeah, it was your afternoon, man. But Texas, we know what they're heading for. They're trying to get CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. That's their goal. and they're gonna they're gonna reach that because I don't see any other team having a worse record than them in the NFL. But this is just more about Miami, man, and just Tyreek Cheetah's impact has just been phenomenal. It's just been phenomenal, and it just the way he complements Waddle, Gesicki's playing better. They have a plethora of running backs. It's a great team, and I like Mike McDaniel. I mean, it could have went either way. It could have went either way with him because his personality. It's definitely a personality where if they were losing, it's easy to kind of quote unquote bully him, or he could get critiqued and be blamed. The memes and stuff. They could have Adam Gaced him. They could have Adam Gaced him easily. He could easily been an Adam Gase situation here, no doubt. But despite his personality, the players, they love him, man. They're playing for him. I saw a couple of clips of his post game speech with the team. It had me going. It had me going. So I can only imagine those guys in the locker room and the way he prepares. If you have a head coach that prepares in the preparation, those guys see that and they're gonna want to play. They're gonna want to play for you, man. They're gonna want to play for you. They sense the players. They sense the real. They sense if you're real or not quickly. And Mike McDaniel's the real deal. He's the real deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not much on this game, like you said. I mean, 30 zip at half, you take 2 out, you coast. Listen, this is what you're supposed to do. And this is a trap. Technically, this is a trap game.
Could have been.
If you're the Dolphins, you're like, okay, listen, why am I going to even attempt to play hard against the Texans? Well, guess what? Sometimes the bad teams beat the good ones. It's because of that. Dolphins said, no, we're going to do exactly what we're supposed to do. We're not going to let them hang around. We're not going to, squeak out a win where we got to go on a game-winning drive now. 30-0 at halftime, go to bed. That's what it was. That's exactly what they did. They took care of business, and this team is a threat. We've said it before. I think the biggest thing is you can't teach speed, bro. There is no such thing as teaching speed. You can't make them go run on the track longer and, get a bigger calf muscle. All of a sudden, they're Usain Bolt. People are gifted with it. Tyreek Hill's faster than everybody else. Jalen Waddle's probably faster than 98% of everybody else in the league. Jeff Wilson's fast as hell. Mostert's fast as hell. I mean, you're literally running a 4x4 track meet with this team.
It's a track meet with physicality. So that's
physicality
scary.
And good plays.
Yes.
It's not it's not gadget plays. Oh, look, this guy can run fast. I'm going to do an end around sweep. Right. How creative. It's like, no, we're going to do a play that's going to get you wide open. And then you can use your speed too.
And then exactly. Then you use your talent once you get the football.
Exactly. If the Dolphins made a run, not shocked.
No, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked either. I wouldn't be shocked either, not in the slightest. I feel like the way they're playing, and they have Buffalo's number. And again, it's just so tough to stop them, bro. It's so tough to stop them and their playing ability. And just because they have the speed over the top, but if they go physical and just play smash mouth football, they could do that too. So it's just they're just on a different level.
They are on a different level. Well, that's a little bit of a surprise.
Oh,
what's going on?
Oh, I got it on the big screen. I didn't see my guy pull up, man. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. It's been a while. Just wanted to tune into some of the hard count a little bit, and
yes, sir.
Wanted to throw in some thoughts. You guys could go ahead and finish. I'll talk about the Bears and Jets game.
No, yeah, we done.
Yeah, move on. Go ahead.
You good, my guy? Thanksgiving was good, man. What's up?
Oh yeah, Thanksgiving was good. I feasted way too much on the Thanksgiving food. I mean, I had the full plate, and you name it, I pretty much put everything on there that they had. They had the white meat turkey, which is the dry turkey, which means you got to throw on the mashed potatoes, the gravy, everything on it. I had the turkey leg, the dark meat. It was delicious. Don't say pause on that one. It was delicious. Let's see. I also had the ham, and this may be a hot take, but it may be true. Ham is better than turkey.
I'm not a big turkey guy.
Any Thanksgiving main dish, you got to have the ham. It is the key right there. And I just put a feast on everything else. I had some stuffing as well. It was good. The desserts were incredible. And I did everything. I watched the Thanksgiving Day games, which actually were pretty good. Like if we're being honest, I know you guys mentioned this earlier, but in most years you always get one close game, and then like the other ones are blowouts. But each game, in all honesty, was pretty close throughout. You know,
This was.
it was wild to see. And I don't know if like you guys watch soccer at all. I know Connie doesn't. I mean, he bashes soccer 24/7. But you know, during Thanksgiving, I did watch a little bit of the World Cup. You know, Brazil had an incredible goal, and you know, I also want to say shout out to the U.S. men's team for beating Iran. You know, now we're in the round of 16, and we'll probably get killed by the Netherlands, but who cares? We might have passed the group stage.
Yes, sir. Shout out USA, man. Shout out Pulisic doing his job, brother. Shout out.
Exactly. Dude literally put his sack on the line to score that goal.
Yo, JJ Watt's tweet had me crying. I don't know if JJ Watt tweeted out. He was like, put the whatever, you know, insert ball joke here. Put them on the line. Put them on the line. We salute you, Captain.
Put his kids on the line, man.
I was JJ, you're a clown.
Yeah,
JJ. It was clutch, but overall, my Thanksgiving was good. You know, for me, school ends in 2 weeks. So
Facts. I'm never going back. I'm done. Just got
2 more weeks there, and you know, overall, like you guys are mentioning, like Connie said, the Dolphins are a wagon. Like the Dolphins are one of those teams. As long as Tua doesn't almost die, you know, they're 8-0. You know, if you think about it, they could very well be unbeaten. So, you know, it's going to be a fun race. One thing I'll say is in the AFC East, it's going to be a fun race because every team is above 500, and almost every team has a shot. Even the Pats, even though the Pats are 6-5. You can still make a run. You got Buffalo on Thursday, and hey, you shock the world. You're right there.
Yeah, right there. Even the New England mid. Okay, we got the Jets. We got the Jets in the Bears. Mike White. So they go from scoring 3 points against the Pats last week to scoring 31 the next week. And what was the difference? We know the difference. Zach Wilson.
On the bench.
I think it's over. I don't see him coming back from this. At least with the Jets. Could Mike White, you know, be just his ass and have a game like that, and then Zach Wilson could come back in? Sure. And that's probably that'll be the best case scenario for Zach Wilson. Is Mike White has a terrible game, he comes in and helps them win, and then he's loved again. That's the only way. That's the only way he's gonna get his job back. That's it. Because how he handled that loss last week against the Patriots. It's just, you can go in that locker room and you go into your locker and these guys looking at you like that's awkward. That's an awkward situation, bro. You go up to the podium and you be like, no, I didn't feel like I threw the game away. No, I didn't feel like that. And then you go back to the locker room and the guys are on their phone on social media seeing you saying that like 3 minutes ago, and you're looking like you really?
Are you serious?
9 for 22? Oh, 77 yards? Oh,
2 yards in the second half?
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, negative 2 yards. You didn't throw the game.
Literally in the second half, averaged 2.8 inches per play.
Yeah. It was just rough. But they come into the game. Salah says that, you know, Mike White was going to be the starter last Wednesday, and boy, this team have just a new life, different type of energy on Sunday. Just how they just dismantled the Bears, man. Connie, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think. Well, first of all, the Bears had no chance in this game. I mean, you had Trevor Siemian because Fields was out, and then before the game starts, all of a sudden Trevor Siemian's not going to start anymore. Nathan Peterman's going to start because he got hurt in warm-ups. And then 2 minutes before the game,
they said, right.
Yeah, 2 minutes before the game, now he's questionable again for the game. Okay, then he starts. So you didn't know who your starting quarterback was going to be. Technically Siemian was going to be the guy the whole week, but I mean, 10 minutes before game time, you're like, okay, Nathan Peterman, you're our guy this week. God bless. And then it's like 5 minutes later, never mind, Trevor, you're back in. Get on the helmet there, buddy, old pal. But listen, I think the biggest thing out of this whole game is the comments that Salah made after the game. And it was one statement, just one thing that he said. And he said he made the easy things look easy. and Zach Wilson didn't do it. We were screen passes he couldn't complete last against the Patriots. Screen passes.
It was bad.
I promise you on everything I love, I could complete a pass.
There was so many people open last week, bro. I mean, 2 weeks ago against the Patriots. I'm just like, he's right there, and he's just.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, if you gave me 10 passes in the NFL and they were all screens, 7 for 10. 7 for 10.
That's a good completion percentage, my guy.
Yeah, that's a good completion.
He said he made the easy things look easy.
You just throw a little sidearm to avoid the bat down.
I played baseball. I got a little Robbie Cano in me.
Okay.
A little sidearm second base. You feel me?
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's
IKF.
back. Unless IKF never.
Cliff IKF. Yeah, it's Cliff.
Even though they just re-signed him for a year, which makes me want to jump off the Golden Gate, but that's a different story. Unless Mike White goes out and pulls an Nate Peterman with like the 5 interceptions in the first half, why would you play him? Why would you play Zach Wilson again? Because even on the side of the field in street clothes, there were a couple plays where, Flacco and Mike White are looking at, the replay on the tablet. Zach Wilson wasn't even looking at the tablet. He was standing behind them, not looking. So, you're supposed to be even, and he doesn't look happy. He's not. Listen, I'll give Baker credit. They won that game. He's headbutting people without a helmet on. Headbutting. Probably got CT already, not helping. and Zach Wilson is on the sideline. Just dead face,
looking like Anakin Skywalker with the hoodie over.
You gotta at least pretend, brother. You gotta at least pretend.
You're right, but
that's what you're supposed to do to be the leader and get you want to get the locker room back. Well, guess what? Your team's winning. Be happy for the team. Listen, in the back of your head, you can be like, I pray Mike White right now blows out both ACLs on this play. I need it to happen for my career. You can think that in the back of your head. If you're Zach Wilson.
They didn't even dress him, bro.
I know, but I mean,
that's crazy to me.
Not even dressing him.
That's crazy. He's a healthy scratch. Is crazy.
Zach needs a fresh start with a new team like Tannehill in Miami or Favre in Atlanta. Mike White got injured in 3 out of the 4 games last year. Hope he lasts longer this time. Yeah, remember second game against the Colts? He had lost feeling in his arm because of a nerve, and then right after the game, it came back. That was a weird situation. But. No, it's over. Move on. Listen, it's the second pick in the draft, so obviously you give him more chances than you do if he's a 7th round quarterback or something like that, but it's over. I mean, you go look for a bridge quarterback right now or somebody that you think can be good. Listen, if the 49ers still want to move on from Jimmy, okay, Jets, make a call. If the Raiders really do need to move on from Carr because apparently they're broke, Jets, you make the call. Because, I mean, I think they're going to end up making the playoffs somehow. Their defense is just that. I think their defense is just that good that they can really carry it.
But you trust you trust Mike White to make enough plays. Is what you're saying.
Zach Wilson has 5 wins this season. So if he can do what Mike, I mean, he already has 2 games in his career that are better than Zach Wilson has ever had. The game last year against the Bengals. And this game.
Didn't that literally get put in the Hall of Fame?
Yes, his uniform is in the Hall of Fame from that game.
That's so
great. Mike White has 2 games in his NFL career as a backup quarterback already better than Zach Wilson.
Insane.
So why not? Why not put a little faith I just don't have to throw for 77 yards in the entire game? I think I can manage that.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So, yeah, why not? But, no, it's over. I mean, stop it.
I think they played Miami twice and Buffalo one more time. So, those are tough games.
We got to play Buffalo twice and we got to play Miami again.
Yes, we do. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, listen, bro. If we win one more game, we said 7-10. I can't. I saw the light. I saw the light after the first 3 games. I was like, yo, 7-10.
I saw a sign.
It's very exactly.
And it opened up my eyes.
Oh man, but yeah, it's over.
Yeah, it's over for Zach Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah, I 1000% agree with Connie as well. I mean, the comments Zach Wilson made at the end of that Patriots game was very telling. I mean, you don't say when you literally went 9 of 22, 77 yards, literally averaged less than 3 inches per play in the second half, and say, "No, I'm not the reason why you lost today." Yeah, you were. You were the reason why they lost today. How can a defense hold somebody to 10 points and somehow you still lose? Like it's almost impossible to think that way. And then if you look at it as well, like Mike White during this game against the Bears, even though the Bears defense is terrible, which is very rare to think. Normally the Bears have a good defense and a terrible offense, but now the roles have kind of flipped. Now it's kind of their offense is okay and their defense is just mediocre because they traded everybody. You see Mike White throw for 315 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, that right there almost sealed the deal. And if we're being honest, if I'm Robert Saleh, you roll with the hot hand. You know, if it just so happens that, you know, Mike White, he could very well easily have a terrible game next week. He could very easily have another one of those potential like 2-3 interception kind of games. And then maybe you roll with the Cougar Slayer and Zach Wilson. You know, but with that being said, the team almost felt different when Mike White was in. Like even look at like the post game. Like after the Jets won those games with Zach Wilson, you didn't really see a lot of camaraderie around Zach Wilson. When Mike White dominated the Chicago Bears, you saw during the post game interview, whenever he interviewed those reporters, everybody loved Mike White and they were all surrounding him. And even during the home crowd when they were playing the Bengals, they were chanting Mike White. You didn't hear no Zach Wilson chants ever in any of his games played.
Not one.
Mike White hasn't even started 5 games, and he's already got MetLife Stadium chanting Mike White like that.
Even Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi got a chant in Foxborough.
No, I mean
exactly. Like if you think about it, if you're the Jets, you're exceeding expectations dramatically. I mean, you're sitting there at 7-4, and somehow you have an opportunity to make the playoffs. You have to roll with the high hand in Mike White, which Mike White was incredible this game against the Bears. Now, can he repeat that sustainably? That's to be determined, because every week you're not going to play a terrible Bears defense. You know, you're going to play a team like the Bills. You're going to play a team, you know, like the Dolphins. And the crazy thing about it is the Jets have beaten the Bills before. So it's not like, you know, the Jets are going to go into this game against the Bills all scared, because they're going to look at it and say, we beat these fools already, you know, at MetLife. We could compete with the Bills. So, I mean, the Jets kind of look at the situation, and you said, you know, the 3 games left, they have the Dolphins twice and the Bills once. Even if they lose those 3, they still got a chance to go 10-7 and make the postseason, which is crazy to think about. But, I mean, the Jets have an opportunity. Now, will they pull the ultimate Jets move and collapse? Highly possible. Highly possible that they could collapse, and it'll be the most Jets moment thing of all time. But for right now, they're 7-4. Magic Mike White is the new thing in town for the Jets. And if I'm Robert Saleh, you got to roll with Mike White until there's any sort of fall off. Even if Mike White has a bad game next week, you might as well look at Mike White and say, "We'll give you another shot. We'll give you one more chance."
That's what it'll be, right?
Because Zach Wilson damaged the locker room so badly with how terribly he handled that press conference, I think you give Mike White 2 games. You know, it's simple. Even if Mike White throws 4 interceptions the next game, you gotta look at Zach Wilson and say, "Look, man, you got a lot more work to do. You know, you gotta stop going on Naughty America and banging those milfs. You gotta bang the film." Like, you gotta watch the film more. Come on now. Like, there comes a time and a place to where you gotta play good on the field, and Zach Wilson just hasn't. Like, when you look at the games that the Jets have won before Mike White came in, what game did you really see that Zach Wilson won? It wasn't any of them.
None of them.
It was Breece Hall before he got hurt, and it was Sauce Gardner in the defense. Zach Wilson had nothing to do. You could have put either one of us 3 in at quarterback for the Jets during their 5 wins, and we still would have found ways to win. It's that simple. So if you're the Jets, roll with Mike White until the wheels fall off. That simple.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I mean, Both of you guys made great points, man. I mean, just keep it going until it's not what it is anymore. Just makes perfect sense. Bengals and the Titans. This is a divisional game rematch. This is a rematch of the divisional game from last year. Bengals able to get this W. Derrick Henry just wasn't able to
King Henry cost a lot of fantasy owners a 75-yard touchdown. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. He wasn't able to get it going in this one. He struggled. But the Bengals, man, ever since they went 0-2 to start the season, they're 5-2 now. In their last 7 games, they've been on all cylinders. And they get Jamar Chase back next week. So with the Ravens, we expect maybe trending down, despite even still being 7-4 and actually having a win over Cincinnati. We see the Bengals potentially trending up. Their defense was phenomenal. I think, honestly, they're probably one of the most underrated defenses in the NFL. We don't talk about them because they don't have, a Micah Parsons or a TJ Watt. They don't have that type of talent, like a superstar type guy.
Yeah, Bates is good. But I mean a guy like casuals. Right. They don't have someone like that on their team. But collectively, 11 strong, just they bring it. They bring it every Sunday, that's also one of the main reasons why they went to the Super Bowl last year. Their defense, like what they did with that defensive performance they did in Kansas City in that second half, was phenomenal. So. They did a great job Sunday against Derrick Henry. And when you make Ryan Tannehill beat you, you're going to win. It's that simple. If you make Ryan Tannehill the reason why, you're going to get the dub. Every single time. Every single time, man. And he's solid. He's good. He'll have a 300-yard passing game with like 70 rushing yards, 3 games in a row. He'll have stretches like that. And then he'll come back to life. Traylon Burks, I'm impressed. He had it was like at the beginning of the season, before the season started, there were some questions with the asthma and his breathing and things like that. Will he be able to sustain? But ever since he's been able to, get that figured out and be consistent and stay on the field, he's been pretty good. So I think he's going to be a guy for them. Westbrook Akina, another young receiver that they have on the outside. So they're going to be fine because that division is terrible. So they're going to win that division and still make the playoffs. And then for Cincinnati, they're stacking these W's. They're going to see Baltimore one more time. I think they see Cleveland as well one more time. So we might see a Burrow-Deshaun game. That's going to be sheesh. That's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one for sure. Ohio battle. But yeah, Bengals are playing great, and Titans, I think they're going to be fine too, despite this L. Connie, what's your thoughts? Yeah, I mean, listen, like you said, it is trending up for the Bengals. They're about to get Jamar back in a big week too. I mean, they're playing the Chiefs this week, so obviously they're going to need all hands on deck for that rematch. Listen, they're going on a playoff run right now.
Yes,
they just took the divisional rematch. Now they get the championship rematch back. So, they're definitely going to need all hands on deck. But like, that's the thing with the Bengals. Like, yeah, Jamar's out. Okay, T. Higgins 7 for 114 and touchdown. Like, no other team in the NFL has the depth at wide receiver they do. Because even if he went down, like, you think Tyler Boyd can't do some good things? Like, he's a very good receiver as well. Hayden Hurst, not the best tight end, whatever, but he can do both. Like, he's a solid receiving tight end. He can make some pretty good blocks over there. So he is that nice dual threat. Obviously, you would love for them to get Joe Mixon back, but Samaje Perine is doing a fine job. Filling in for him. Obviously, not the same skill level, but hey. He's a veteran. He knows what he's supposed to do. Very good out of the backfield catching the ball. So P-Ride's been doing a pretty good job filling in. And then, like you said, unless Derrick Henry really has it going, it's tough for the Titans to win because nobody thinks that Ryan Tannehill's going to go out and throw for 450 yards and 4 touchdowns like a very good quarterback could do on any given Sunday, or 300 yards and destroy you through the air. Because when you trade somebody like AJ Brown, you're going to struggle with things on the outside as well. So, it's a nice win for the Bengals, and, they are trending up, getting some injured players back, and I can't wait for that game next week. But yeah, I mean, the Titans are going to be fine because who's going to take the division from them? Nobody. I mean, I thought the Colts coming into the season, a lot of people did as well. Colts coming into the season after what they did, maybe Matt Ryan would just take away some of the mistakes that Wentz made. Obviously, that hasn't worked out very well, as we can tell by their record, and the fact that Jeff Saturday is now randomly the head coach of the team. But good win for the Bengals, much needed to keep pace in that division, and then obviously with the Ravens losing, it only helps them get to a point where maybe they win the division. They don't need to go play in the wild card, on the road like they had to do the season before. So yeah, nice game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1,000%. I agree with you as well. I think this is a good win by the Cincinnati Bengals. One thing I will say though is the ending of the game was one of the worst endings I've ever seen. I mean, it was very unfortunate that the refs threw a flag and they called a flag on that play. During the field goal.
Flag's a flag, though. It was the right call.
It is the right call, but when have you seen it called?
I've seen it called.
When?
I mean, maybe not in that situation, but I've seen it. I've definitely seen it called. I mean, listen, you can't run into the snapper.
But there comes a time where, like, even if it's like the end of the game, you have to let it play out, and you just have to see the drama unfold. At least I think, anyways. Granted, the call is right. He did run into the snapper. He did affect the play. Technically speaking, it is the right call. But in that situation, you just gotta let it slide. Let it slide, and then see what happens with the Bengals defense, just to ensure the drama, because drama is key. But I mean, I think overall, like you guys have mentioned, I mean, you look at both of these teams, the Tennessee Titans. Who really is going to compete in the AFC South with them? Nobody. Texans are, in a massive tank, the likes of which we haven't seen before since the 0-16 Browns. The Jaguars are improving, but they're not there yet. And the Colts literally on Matty Ice's last leg with the head coach of Jeff Saturday. Yeah, I'll take my chances still with Tennessee. Now, I do think this is a bad loss for Tennessee in the sake of when it comes to seeding. Because if you think about it now, with this loss, Tennessee is most likely going to be the 4th seed in the AFC. And if you're Tennessee, you want to be a higher seed. You want to be, a 3rd seed, a 2 seed, or a 1 seed. But with how the AFC is panning out, it looks to be most likely Kansas City will most likely be the 1 seed. Whoever wins the AFC East will most likely be, the 2 seed. And then 3 and 4 is pretty much going to be a battle for whoever wants it. So you think about like AFC South, yeah, and then you think about AFC North is most likely going to be either the Bengals or the Ravens.
Right, for that 3rd seed, yeah.
And then Tennessee's going to be right there. So you look at for Tennessee, that's a blown opportunity right there of them potentially being in a race for a 3rd seed. Now, if you look at it, that almost solidifies their spot as a 4th seed in the AFC. And now you're going to get matched up with either Cincinnati or Baltimore in the first round of the wild card. And I'm sorry, if I'm Tennessee, I don't like that matchup. Just focusing on the January for Tennessee, that's not a matchup that I would want. I would much rather be, a 3rd seed, facing somebody else. Even if you have to face like a Miami or something like that, it's going to be a tough out for Tennessee.
If they see Baltimore, that's better for them. They've beaten Baltimore already in the playoffs.
No, they have before, but they didn't beat him when it was in Tennessee. They beat him when it was on the road in Baltimore. So I mean, right. We'll see kind of what happens there. But just for Tennessee, you would have hoped that they would have gotten this game, go to 8-3, and still compete. But on the other side, nobody's going to compete with them in the AFC South. And like you guys have mentioned for the Bengals, this is a huge win for them, especially with the Baltimore Ravens having yet another 4th quarter meltdown. I don't know what it is with bird teams and mascots. I mean, the Falcons are known for blowing leads. The Ravens have been blowing leads. I mean, if you think about it, if you're the Baltimore Ravens, literally every single one of their losses has been a blown double-digit lead in the 3rd or 4th quarter. Every single one. Started with Miami. Then it went to the Giants. Then it went to this game, and then there's one more. I'm not sure which other one the Ravens blew, but each of their losses has been a blown double-digit lead. And the Ravens have been blowing their leads like crazy this year. It's terrible because if you think about it, like if you're the Ravens, this is supposed to be a year to where you got to make a deep run with Lamar because you got to pay Lamar the big dollars. you're gonna have to pay him at least probably $300+ million, fully guaranteed. If you think about it from that perspective, if you're the Ravens.
Oh, the Bills. That's who it was.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it was the Bill. It was the Bills. Yeah, it was the Bills. Yeah, but that's just the Ravens. They're blowing it. I mean, you look at even when you think about it last year. Next year it was with injuries. They were 8-3, and then injuries happened, and they lost 6 straight. And now you kind of look at it this year. They have to. They have to pay. They have to pay him, or else the Ravens are going to be irrelevant. Look at the Ravens.
Shocked if they didn't pay him.
Look at and then just think about the time that Lamar has been with the Ravens. Look at the games they have with him versus without him. With him, they are a legit playoff contending team. Without him, they're irrelevant.
Yes, no doubt.
And if you want to prove it, look at last year. Last year they were 8-3. Lamar was hanging on with this team for his dear life. His body breaks down, he gets hurt. And you have Tyler Huntley in there, and they lose 6 straight. Now, it didn't help that, in certain games they decided to go for 2 in the win, and it didn't work. That happened about 2 or 3 times. Examples were when they played Pittsburgh and Green Bay, they could have kicked the PAT, and who knows what would happen in overtime. But, you go from 8-3 to 8-9. If anything, that would have helped in Lamar's case because he could have said, look, you need me because without me, you guys are nothing. Now they still haven't paid him. Yeah, right. They still haven't paid him, and his price has only gotten higher. If anything, his price has only gotten higher. So if you're the Ravens, you got to look at it and say, man, we're gonna have to fork out at least $300+ million fully guaranteed with how these contracts are looking right now. So they're in a predicament, and they're 7-4 after embarrassing themselves against Jacksonville, which I don't know if you guys talked about it, but that Jaguars mascot was the worst horrid sight I have ever seen. Never again do I want to see a mascot in a Speedo like that. That was terrible.
My man was ripped out there, though, hitting the gym.
Yeah, but Buddy was ripped, but it's November. This isn't June or July in the summer.
In Jacksonville. It was probably 80 degrees.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Don't matter. It's November. No. That just ain't it. That just ain't it. That's just not it. But for the Bengals, they might win this division without having to play, against Baltimore. That's a game to where if you're the Bengals, it's a great win. They're getting healthier. And like Connie mentioned, they started out 0-2 in the last 7 games. They won 5 of the last 7. You got Jamar Chase returning for this game against Kansas City. We all know what happened last time when he played Kansas City, in Cincinnati when he had over 200+ yards and did his thing. So, we'll see what happens there. But overall for the Bengals, great win for them. And for the Tennessee Titans, tough loss, but you're still most likely going to win the division because the rest of the teams are terrible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. We got the Falcons and the Commanders. This is actually a really good game. This is actually a really, really entertaining game and right down to the wire. Two teams with still a lot to play for. The Commanders have been playing phenomenal football over these last 7 games. Won 6 out of the last 7. Just Taylor Heineke. They just play for this guy. They just love this guy. And he's not perfect. He has his moments.
Mike White of the Commanders. They're literally the same football team, by the way. Commanders and Jets are the exact same team.
Yeah. And it's just a formula for success, man. As much as people want to tell us about it's a passing league and all about these quarterbacks, it's a quarterback era and this and that. We're still seeing teams today still play the same type of way that they played 20 years ago. Now, the only thing is you still need that quarterback down the road to make those plays when it matters. But in the regular season, running the football, playing defense will always win you games in this league. And that's what the Commanders are doing. That's exactly what they're doing right now.
Yeah, and sorry to interrupt. I don't know if you guys know this stat, but Connie, your boy, Pennsylvania Avenue,
more touchdowns than Wilson.
Hasn't played since week 6, and he has more touchdowns than Russell Wilson. I don't know if you guys seen that stat line, but Connie, your boy, I mean, you called him Wentz Philadelphia. He went to Wentz-Annapolis. Now he's at Pennsylvania Avenue. Your boy might be better than Russ at this point.
Broncos should have traded for him. It was the clear and obvious choice.
That was the clear and obvious choice.
Connie, I want to know. You've had nicknames for Carson Wentz. What would his nickname been if he went to Denver? How would you rhyme Wentz with Denver? Would it just be Wenver?
Nah, I would have to come up with something. Mile High Wentz or something. You know what I mean?
Mile High Wentz.
Something I don't know. I would have to come up with something. But
the fact of the matter is, man's holding the clipboard. You feel me? He lost his job. Taylor Heineke took his job. It's clip for Carson Wentz. Whatever nickname you want to call him, he's a backup. That's his nickname. Backup. Okay? I'm just playing.
Yeah, CJ going at the man's throat.
I was just trolling.
He's still Pennsylvania Avenue until he leaves the Commanders. Pennsylvania Avenue is still there.
Cool.
Yo, Gridiron, you're right. A big win deserves a big hat. Shout out Brian Robinson Jr. Big hat company.
Yes, it does. He's rookie year. This is his rookie year, and I think he's gonna be a special player for the Commanders. I didn't like that Sean Taylor tribute memorial museum thing.
It was literally the worst thing I have ever seen.
Just Daniel Snyder they on the field they're playing so well.
It's a mannequin.
Forced to sell the team. He needs to be forced to sell the team after that. I've seen better mannequins at regular like apparel stores than what they put
say
up.
Victoria's Secret. You just didn't want to say it. I know. I said you were going to say Victoria's Secret. You just didn't want to say it. I know you did.
No.
Right.
This guy. But no, the mannequin literally had like string arms of metal. Like, are you serious? And then on top of that, like, what kind of cleats does he got?
No. He was one of the first ones to wear soccer cleats back in the days. His daughter did say that.
Yeah. The cleats is fine, but just
the mannequin.
No, I want to know what happened. Unless if they had a statue in place and somebody dropped it and broke it, there's no way you mess it up that badly. You already messed up when you tried to retire his logo and people were stepping on it. That was already a mess up.
Right. Yeah,
that was already a mess up there. You already messed that up, and then you had ample opportunity to make a statue for one of your greatest players in history. And you not only did you not get to make a statue, you messed up a mannequin. How do you build a mannequin wrong? Like how is that possible? Like at least the guy who attempted the Ronaldo bronze statue, even though it didn't look good, at least the attempt was there. There was something there, even though the face was terrible. At least something was there.
Crazy,
at least it was there. The thought was there. For the Commanders, this just looks like something either of three of us would do at our last-minute school project. Just fuck it. I just need a grade for the assignment.
Some arts and craft, third grade.
Arts and crafts.
That's that. 8:30 at night. Yo, mom, I have a project due. When is it? Tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
get into the car and drive to Michael.
Gluing macaroni on construction paper.
Got that paper mache world.
Yeah,
paper mache.
It was absolutely terrible. It was the worst. It's the worst tribute I've ever seen. And just when you think the Commanders take a step forward, they take 2 to 3 steps backwards. Like they literally have a good culture. Literally, the players are bought into Ron Rivera and whatever personal stuff he's going through. I don't know if you saw, I think it was against Indianapolis during like the post game, like during like the locker room where he was going through like losing his mom and stuff, and the players are all bought into it. The players are all bought in. All the players are looking good. They're 7-5, and yet shit like this happens, and that instantly gets drawn back to why the Commanders have a terrible organization. Like this is literally, this team is 7-5. and they're
It's one
literally
of the hottest
in the
teams in
playoffs.
football right now.
They're in the playoffs right now, and people aren't talking about all the Commanders on the playoffs. The people are talking about how do you mess up a mannequin as a statue. That's literally like the number one thing you see on the headlines. It's not this Taylor Heineke kid, he's on another run again. This is like 2020. No.
Right.
They're talking about how in the world do you mess up a mannequin? Like they literally look like Chris Tucker on Friday when he goes up to Craig and says, "What kind of shit is that?" Like you look at the mannequin, you look at the mannequin, and then you say, "What kind of shit is that?"
Friday references? Oh nah!
I love Friday.
That's a classic scene right there, my guy.
No, okay. That's a classic. But what is a classic though is the Falcons finding a way to blow a game, and that's exactly what Atlanta did. Today. When they played the Commanders, it's unfortunate because if you think about it, the Falcons are still only a half a game back in the NFC South.
Yep.
Did you guys know that they're only half a game? They're only a half a game behind the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for first in the NFC South, and they would be in first if they didn't pull the Falcons in almost every game. Literally, you could name like multiple games, but it's just it's just disappointing.
Yeah,
not as disappointing as what the Commanders are doing with that mannequin statue, which is honestly ridiculous. Like you have to fix that. There's no way you could keep that there and call it a day. There's just no way. Like there has to be something in the offseason where you have to revamp and say, you know what, let's just redo this. Like it honestly, if there is ever new ownership with the Commanders, if I'm the new owner, I'm instantly stripping down whatever Sean Taylor stuff they have, and I'm remaking it new. Just saying, like how they retired you the first time was disrespectful. We're gonna give it more class and retake it. Take two.
Went over the fence.
Yeah. It's definitely weird. It's unfortunate that's like you're right. It's unfortunate that's what we're talking about. But again, in this game, they went down to the wire. Mario, they were going on a game-winning drive, interception right there on the goal line. Just unfortunate they just weren't able to get into the end zone there. like you said, they lost in Atlanta fashion. But this Commander team, man, they're finding ways to win. It's not pretty W's by any means. They got the dub. Yeah. Of course, a win is a win. But they're still able to get it done. They got the dub against Philadelphia. They're the only one. They're the only team in the league to beat Philadelphia. So
we came.
You saw what happened?
No, I'm just saying for my team, we came close. We just didn't get there.
You said what? You think you guys close? You trolling, right?
I mean, we only lost by 7.
About 350 rush yards.
Yeah, when we get to that game,
we gonna get to y'all. We gonna get to y'all. What's going on with y'all and y'all future for sure. I got some comments.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah,
it's gonna be sad cheese. It's gonna be sad cheese when we get to that
game. Yeah, good win by the Commanders. So we got the Chargers and the Cardinals. Another team, this Arizona team, man. Wow.
Cliff got to go.
Yeah, yep. I was just about to say that. That's crazy. I was just about to say that. Yeah, Cliff has to go, man. It's over. It's over.
They really extended this man.
Yeah.
And the GM too. And the GM.
I don't think the GM's done bad though.
Maybe him too. I mean, he hired Kingsbury. So
yeah, but he also drafted Kyler. He also traded for D Hop.
Isn't Kyler Murray now 0-3 since the new Warfare game has came out?
I forgot to keep track of that.
Is that man still winless?
I believe he is 0-3.
Because Connie put the chart up.
Oh, we know they won, but he didn't play.
He didn't play. Yeah, he didn't play against the Rams. Yeah, he didn't play that game.
Yeah, they had Colt McCoy in.
Right.
At least to my knowledge, Kyler still hasn't won since the new Warfare game came out.
Yeah, man.
It's a low blow. It's a low blow that I did, but I think if you look it up, I think it's true.
Yeah, it might be true. It might be true. And Kyler comes out after the game. He's like schematically, we're kind of fucked. Yeah.
And then he proceeds to lob it up to Hopkins and gets intercepted.
Yeah, it's just tough for the Cardinals. Kingsbury is again. It's time. It's time. I know he got the extension. He's gonna get his money, but in terms of him being the Arizona Cardinals head coach for the foreseeable future, not happening. It's just not happening. Honestly, wasn't really even qualified for the job. I mean, let's this guy coached Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech, and they didn't win anything.
Got fired.
Not one Big 12 championship. Not one.
And he like that.
Got fired from his alma mater.
That's what I was gonna say too. I was like, how did this man get a job? He literally went below 500 with Mahomes.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying, man.
Like Steve Wilkes did not deserve to be fired and then replaced with Cliff Kingsbury. Like that's a disgrace.
I'm with you. I'm with you, man. I'm with you, bro. He didn't. Yeah, he really did not. He did not. He was not qualified for that job. It'd be different if he was a highly touted college football head coach, won a national championship.
Like Urban Meyer.
Yeah. But I would understand him getting that job based on.
I know what you mean. I just had to be an asshole.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe those fingers would have worked better in Arizona than in Jacksonville.
But Kingsbury's resume and collegiate football just wasn't great, man. And like you guys just said, you coached Patrick Mahomes for 3 years, and you know have one Big 12 championship. Also, like 3 rush. Yeah. That's just. I did not know that. And another guy that should be on the hot seat too is Staley. Oh yeah, Brandon Staley.
Oh, if they go for 2 and don't win that game, he gets fired
this weekend. Those 2-point conversions that converted.
Exactly. Yeah, he
I think if he didn't get that, they ended up. I think if they lost that game because they don't get that 2-point conversion, he gets fired.
I know for sure, Connie. If they would have converted that 2-point conversion, you would have been on Brandon Staley's ass in the group chat.
I still don't listen. See, and here's where people. Oh yeah, well you're not going to say anything about analytics now. I still don't. They won the game. I still don't like the decision. Still think it was a bad decision. Yeah, I know they won the game. Don't care. Still a bad decision in my eyes. Like you have the opportunity, go in overtime, and yeah, maybe you end up losing the game in overtime. Then you say, "Oh, we could have been more aggressive. We could have had a chance to win the game." How many times have they lost the game because they were overly aggressive? They blew that Raiders game so hard from being aggressive in that they went for it on their own 30. Their own 30. Like I listen. Congrats on the win. Still don't really agree with the 2-point conversion. But I mean, when you have Justin Herbert as the quarterback, though, you can do a lot of things. Social media quarterback, Emmanuel Acho said. I would take a social media quarterback over about what are there 32 quarterbacks in the league? Probably taking them over about 28, 27 of them.
27 of them?
Probably. I mean, so he could be a social media quarterback on the Patriots all he wants. I would hire a brand new social media department if he wanted that on the team. So
Herbert still has a below 500 record.
Don't care. Literally couldn't care any less.
Yeah,
you know who else probably does?
That's,
you know who else
that's a clout chasing take by Emmanuel Acho.
Oh well.
That's a take you have to say because you're on TV every day. And you want to keep your job. Doesn't really mean that. I
mean, listen, 2 is 1 more. There's no way 2 is better than Justin Herbert. There's no way. I'm sorry. And he thinks 2 is a god.
No, he's not. I mean, he has more structure now.
That's what I'm saying. He thinks 2 is a god. And Justin Herbert's a social media quarterback. Like, all right, bro, you got it.
This is what I'm saying, bro. Is again, this guy. This is how he stays on TV. Like,
no, I know. I'm just saying. You got
to be hyperbolic.
Nah, good win for the Chargers, though. Listen, obviously keeps them alive in the playoff race as well. So this is one
your second team, baby.
Yeah, this is one that they clearly needed. So good on them.
Your second team. This is your second team, the Chargers.
Low key.
Why?
When I was younger, I really liked playing with the Chargers because they had the powder blues.
The powder blues, yeah.
I've gone through many phases. I first used the Eagles a lot because I loved Brian Westbrook.
Yes,
Then I used the Bengals because I thought their logo was cool. Then I was a big Raider guy. Then I decided to become a Patriot fan. I've stuck with that, obviously.
Yes,
but
great choice, my guy, great choice.
It was very good for my mental health all those years.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Hey, just think, Connie. Both of your teams are 6-5.
That's right. I don't know who I have less faith in. That's the problem too.
Oh man, none of the above. And then, before we get to the next game, the Commanders unis on Sunday were fire. Those black Commanders.
No, those are clean.
Those were clean.
Especially with the big hat that matched the same color.
Right. Yeah, he did.
Yo, Brian Robinson, let me get a big hat, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, those jerseys were hard, bro, for sure. We got the Raiders. Speaking of fire jerseys, we got the Raiders and 2 fire jerseys too. We got the Raiders and the Seahawks. This was a really good game, man. There's some really good games this week. You know, there's some times throughout the week where you go through games like
shout out Josh Jacobs for giving me almost 45 fantasy points. Thank you, Josh Jacobs.
And that's how they need to play. They need to build through him first, then go to the passing game, because as you saw Devontae Adams at the end of the game. You know, he was behind him during the press conference doing a money sign, like give him his bread. Pay this man. I'm not sure I do know what the hesitancy is, why they were so hesitant and not giving him the bread, because he's a running back and teams.
Yeah, but they declined his 5th year. They could have given him a 5th year, and they said no in the 5th year.
That's what I'm saying. They don't want to. They just don't want to pay him. They don't want to pay him. They don't want to give him the bread. I mean, he did get drafted pretty high, so I'm pretty sure that number is a pretty high number. It just teams don't value running backs like that anymore, which is sad because, again, like I said earlier, we look at like 5, 6, 7 teams at the top of the NFL. All they do is run the ball. But nonetheless, this game was back and forth. The difference for me, you see the difference between the Broncos and the Raiders in that you could tell the effort and the passion that the Raiders put in when they how they play for Josh McDaniels, as opposed to what we're seeing in Denver. And yes, I know they've had 2 close W's, both in overtime, but it just speaks to how they fight. They're battle tested. They could have easily just laid down in the last 2 weeks. Be like, oh yeah, the season's over. It's clipped. It's done. It's over. Yes, big play. When Carr had that post game press conference, he was emotional and talking about guys not giving it their all. He obviously was not talking about Max Crosby. He was talking about whoever. But since that game, they've been 2-0. They've won some close games. They play together. Seattle is taking a step back a little bit. They maybe reality has kicked in. I mean, still putting up 34 points, but giving up 40 is pretty wild, especially in the NFL. On your home field, they had some opportunities to get it done in the second half. The first half was just lackadaisical. It was really just like that Bucks game against in Germany, where the first half it wasn't great, and then in the second half it started to click for Geno and the rest of that offense. Kenneth Walker the second, Tyler Lockett, and obviously DK. But yeah, this Raider team, I mean, I don't know how their season is going to end, but just looking at some of these wins and over the last couple of weeks or so, I think that could potentially save McDaniel's job. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Gridiron. You could just tell. I mean, the offense is going out there only scoring 10 points a game. I just feel like it's just 2 different teams in Denver. You have your defense and you have the offense. The defense, they go out there, they ball out, they get stops, they do what they need to do, and then we got whatever they got on that other side called an offense. Man, he got the job because he was Aaron Rodgers, little back pocket. That's what he was. He was in his back pocket, and that's how he got the job for the Broncos head coaching job. But it hasn't worked. McDaniels, the jury is still out, but again, I like the way they're playing these last couple of weeks. They found the offense a little bit, and I think the reason why they found that offense is because they're starting to run the football, give Josh Jacobs the ball, then you could get the ball to Devontae Adams. Matt Collins, a guy who's starting to come along in this offense in Hunter Renfro's absence. Foster Moreau in Darren Waller's absence. He made some pretty good plays for Vegas as well. So big win for the Las Vegas Raiders. What's your guys' thoughts, Connie? What's your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I mean, listen, obviously a very back and forth game, very fun game to watch. Josh Jacobs is huge in this game. Like I think he has the most broken tackles in the league. Besides, it's him and Nick Chubb, I believe, for the most broken tackles in the NFL. So obviously he runs the ball very, very hard. DJ did hack the Broncos for the head coaching job. He's got. There's no way that he has a job at the end of this year. Yeah, Perry wanted to know why I like the Chargers. Listen, why not? Why not like the Chargers? Why not? But yeah, this is kind of the formula for the Raiders. This is what they need to do. You got to run the football with Jacobs because obviously it gives you your best chance to win. You have Devontae out there, so you know that you have somebody that you're able to throw the ball to in those tight situations. He's been there. He's done that with the Packers. And then, like you said, there's people stepping up in absence of some very big players. Hunter Renfrow goes down, that's a killer. Waller goes down, that's a killer. But people have come up and stepped up and played some pretty good football in their absence. And the Seahawks, yeah, maybe reality is setting in. It's been a nice season so far. That's another one where maybe you are a little disappointed if you don't end up making the playoffs, because now I believe they're on the outside looking in. Yeah, they are, because the 49ers have a better record than them. So they're on the outside looking into the playoffs right now. And, maybe you don't make the playoffs. You're probably a little bit disappointed. I really do wonder what they do with Geno. I know he's had a good season and all that, but I don't know if he's your guy.
Yeah, he's not over. It's not over yet.
It's not.
There's 6 games left. But yeah, I think they should pay him.
Really?
Not big top.
Well,
I
don't think
top
he'd be
dollar
out of his
money.
mind if he even asked for it.
Yeah, I mean, I could see a 3-year, 75, something like that, 20 to $25 million a year. I could see something like that for him. I mean, I think that's the ballpark for a guy like Geno Smith.
Well, who knows? Who knows? If the Broncos continue to tank, they get a top 3 pick. Maybe Bryce Young or CJ Stroud still come to Seattle.
Sure. Also a factor.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a solid game overall, and then obviously you cap it off with that big run in overtime for a big Raider win.
Yeah, 1,000%. This is definitely a huge win for the Raiders. I mean, they're no longer the worst team in the AFC West. I mean, I think we saw that when they swept Denver, and now with this win kind of solidifies it. I mean, Josh Jacobs is going to get paid, whether it's by the Raiders or somewhere else. The kind of season that Jacobs is having is worthy of him getting paid. And also, when you think about it, even if the Raiders did want to move on from Josh McDaniels, it has been stated that the Raiders can't afford to move on from Josh McDaniels. Like, I don't know who said it. I think it was Mark Davis said it, but I mean, they can't afford to move on from McDaniels. Anyways, even if they did want to move on from McDaniels, like they don't have the cash strap to do it. So McDaniels will most likely stay for another year. And, you just look at overall for the Raiders. I mean, granted, it's been a disappointing season. I mean, if you think about it, if the Raiders didn't have those, 3 games that they've blown 17-point leads in? What was it, 2 or 3 of them?
Who, the Raiders?
Yeah, the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, there's the Cardinal game.
Yeah, because there's the Cardinals, there's the Chiefs.
They were up in that.
It was one. Yeah, they were up against the Chiefs. One more game. I forgot.
I remember the Cardinal game. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, you also lost to Jeff Saturday.
Yes,
so
right.
That doesn't help. Like,
yes.
like if you're the Raiders, you have 3 games where you look at it and say, man, we could have easily, instead of being 4-7, we could have easily been 7-4.
Yep.
Now, how you want to look at it, you could go into the offseason and say, you know what, even though we missed the playoffs, we look at those 3 games and say that can't happen again. Let's bounce back and be better. Or, you're just – and – it's funny to me because if you think about it, like how the game first started, I mean, Derek Carr throwing like 2 bad picks. It was a vintage Derek Carr moment to where it's like, Derek, what are you doing? But then he makes like dime throws like the one to Matt Collins for 36 yards. And it's like, okay, like what kind of Derek Carr are we going to get? But I think you guys are right when you say that, the formula is through Josh Jacobs. Just give the ball to Josh Jacobs and good things will happen. I mean, the man had, what was it, 23 carries for almost 230 yards and 2 touchdowns, and one of those touchdowns was the 86-yard game winner in overtime. I mean, that's the recipe right there for the Raiders. Just continue to run with him. Now, I know they're 4-7, and the AFC is going to be competitive, but there's 5 weeks. Anything can happen in 5 weeks. Who knows? Maybe the Raiders may win out, which is highly unlikely, but you never know. Miracles can happen.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can. But it's gonna be very tough for them to try to win out. Just so many formidable teams that are above them. So we'll see what happens with Vegas. But yeah, big win for the Raiders. We got the Rams and the Chiefs. Not too much to say about this one, man. Rams, their season is over.
Yeah, I mean,
we knew that already, and they don't.
They
even
had
have a first
Bryce
round pick.
Perkins starting. They literally had a preseason roster.
Pretty much.
Now Allen Robinson's out for the rest of the season too. Not that he was doing much anyway, but
remember F them picks. Well, they could probably use a couple right now.
Or all.
All I know is Detroit's looking pretty good right now.
Yes, they are.
Detroit might have nearly 2 top 10 picks. They're looking pretty nice.
Yeah, exactly. They're looking great. And then just Kansas City. Most unstoppable play is at football is Mahomes to Kelsey. I mean, there's no way. You can't stop it. You just can't stop them.
Ask the Chargers.
Yeah, literally. Ask the Chargers. They've literally owned the Chargers since they've been together, and they're just hitting on all cylinders, bro. They're just 9-2. I really just felt like that loss to the Bengals just lit a fire under them in that playoff game. They really, there was 21-3 in that game, and they lost. So the defense has been lights out, and Mahomes is the MVP. Who's you guys MVP right now? Mahomes? Are we 3 for 3 on that? You guys Hurts?
Yeah, it's got to be
him or Hurts.
It's got to be Mahomes.
Okay.
It has to be.
I'm right there with you guys. He's been playing
like you can make an argument like Connie said. You can make an argument for Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
But I mean, with what Mahomes is doing, it's incredible. Like he's been consistently good his entire career. This is kind of the first year that Jalen Hurts is breaking out. Like this is like what was the Jalen Hurts year 2?
Oh yeah,
3?
that doesn't matter. It's about who's having the best season.
Right.
I mean, the Chiefs are 9-2. Like people look at Jalen Hurts in the record, but 10-1 and 9-2. Anything could change in one week.
And all of what Hurts does on the ground, you got to add into it.
Yeah, I think those are the top 2 candidates. I think Mahomes. I would give Mahomes.
It's probably Mahomes, Hurts, and then maybe Allen at number 3.
Yeah, I could see Allen there. I could see Allen there at third. Yeah. I would throw 2 in there too, bro.
Have to
listen.
Have to,
bro. That. FD, bro.
Or Tyreek. Either one. Some Dolphin got to get in there. I mean, you can say Tua, but I mean, just as soon as they got Tyreek, the game, their offense changed completely. And then Mike McDaniel, everything that too, but bringing in Tyreek Hill.
If we're being honest, the MVP award is kind of more like a quarterback award. Whoever's the best quarterback will most likely win MVP.
Which is trash. That's why Micah Parsons came out and that quote tweet. I completely agree with him. It's trash. Just make a quarterback award.
That's what I've been saying.
Make the whoever you want to name it after, some old school quarterback, the Roger Staubach award, whatever you want to do. I wanted to say that, but I didn't want. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be super biased.
Name it the Dan Marino Award because he literally improved the passing game for the quarterback.
Maybe Unitas. I mean, he's kind of started the passing game in general in the NFL. One of those guys, something like that. But yeah, that's
imagine
how it
they
should
name
be.
it. Imagine if they name it the Brady Award, and Tom Brady's still
smart.
playing. And Brady's still playing.
Would anybody? I wouldn't disagree with it.
Could you imagine though? Like he's still playing and he wins his own award. Tom Brady, you've been awarded the Brady Award.
The Brady Award, exactly.
I love that 2 weeks ago, Ronald Jones was complaining that he doesn't get used enough, and the Chiefs bring in another running back. Yeah, Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon over there to the Chiefs.
That dude's literally being passed around the AFC West. All he needs to do is sign with the Raiders.
That's it. Yeah, it's still to complete the mission.
Complete the quad.
Mission. Yeah, that's all he has to do. Melvin Gordon, I mean, he's a name at this point. He's just a name.
He probably fumbled the pen signing his contract.
Yeah, it's just these ball security issues. It just hasn't been great. Hasn't been great for him over the last couple of years. Isaiah Pacheco is their guy, and obviously Edwards-Helaire, but Pacheco it's been great for them. Has been great for them. But Mahomes MVP, Rams, they're dirt. We got the Saints and the 49ers.
This is the classic Jimmy G game.
Yeah, that's what
this is the most Niners Jimmy game I have ever seen.
This is what you're gonna get.
If we think about it, Jimmy didn't turn the ball over. Jimmy ran the ball off to McCaffrey or Elijah Mitchell before he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And the Niners defense is literally probably one of the best defenses we have seen in a long time. There's literally a stat line where it says the Niners haven't allowed a second half point since week 8. They've gone almost an entire month, the defense, without allowing any points. And in my honest opinion, like the Niners are 7-4 right now, but they might be the best team in the NFC. Like I know we have the Eagles. I know we have Minnesota.
Cowboys.
But with how the Niners are looking, if they don't at least make it to the NFC Championship game, it's a failure. Because there's no way you trade for Christian McCaffrey just to be one and done in the playoffs. There's just no way. You don't make that kind of – even though you didn't trade a lot to get McCaffrey, you don't trade for a player like Christian McCaffrey just to make the playoffs and lose in the first round. You trade for Christian McCaffrey because you believe you can make a deep run. And the Niners could be one of those teams to where they can make a deep run. And if the Niners go on another deep run, if they go to another NFC Championship game or potentially another Super Bowl, we're going to have the same conversation we had in this offseason, Jimmy or Trey. That same conversation is going to pop up again. And I know people want to hate on Jimmy because he isn't flashy. But what does Jimmy do? Jimmy wins. Ever since he has joined the 49ers, he's basically saved Kyle Shanahan's ass. If we're being honest, look at Kyle Shanahan's coaching record without Jimmy G. And then look at Kyle Shanahan's record with Jimmy G. Kyle Shanahan needs Jimmy G, or else he would have been fired years ago. Years ago,
Kyle Shanahan needs a good quarterback, like any other coach.
Hey, and Jimmy's a good quarterback.
Yeah, he's a good. Yeah, right. Yeah, he's a good quarterback. He's solid. He's a solid quarterback. To me, he's good. He wins games. I think they're still going to go with Trey because Trey never really lost the job.
Well,
he just got hurt.
One thing I will say though is Trey Lance is definitely going to have a target on his back whenever he is ready to start.
I mean,
because if you think about it, because if
you go to a Super Bowl with Jimmy and they still go to Trey, I would be out of my mind, shocked.
So what are you going to do? Exactly. You're going to trade Trey Lance?
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Are the Jets going to trade Zach Wilson? Sometimes you got to take the L.
The situation is different though. So much different.
Yeah, and it's even better in San Francisco. You've been to
it's a good problem. Yes, it's a good problem. It's a good problem. I'm not disagreeing with that.
And if you think about it, in the last 3 years with Jimmy Garoppolo, when he is healthy, the Niners have gone to 2 NFC Championship games, and they've gone to a Super Bowl. And if it wasn't for Kyle Shanahan blowing a 10-point lead with 6 minutes left, they would be Super Bowl champs. Like they're on the cusp of another potential deep playoff run. And if you think about it, those top NFC teams, the Philadelphia Eagles, we don't know how the Eagles are going to play in the playoffs. Yeah, they're most likely going to get a first-round bye, but we don't know how the Eagles are going to play. The Minnesota Vikings are going to find a way to choke. I'm sorry. I know they're 9-2. I know they're clearly better than the Green Bay Packers, but it's Minnesota sports. Minnesota sports will always find a way to collapse. Look at Blair Walsh. Look at Gary Anderson. Minnesota is going to wet the bed in the playoffs. And I'm sorry because it's going to be fact. It's going to be fact. You're going to see in January when Minnesota makes it to the postseason, it's going to be at US Bank Stadium, and Kirk Cousins is going to have a 3-interception playoff game. You're going to see it. You heard it here first. November 29th, 2022. But it's going to happen. Just wait. Like Stephen A. Smith says, just wait.
Just wait.
Just wait. Because what can't go wrong will go wrong for Minnesota.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. And then for the back to the 49ers, they're just a well-oiled machine. That's what they are, bro. I mean, when it comes to complimentary football, they just do that better than anybody.
And what's funny is they're playing like a team that's 9-2 or 8-3, yet they're 7-4. Like they just passed Seattle for first in the division.
Yeah, I think they're gonna end up winning that division. They're gonna end up winning that division.
It's gonna be a landslide.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
What's crazy to think is the Niners might win the rest of their games.
It's possible. I mean, again, Jimmy is known to have, one of them Kirk Cousins games like you just talked about. He's known to have a couple of them games. So I'm just not, I know he's good. He's good. He is good. But there have been some moments where you're like, whoa, what is this guy doing out here? So if he's clean, if he manages the game, he doesn't turn the ball over.
Just give the ball to McCaffrey.
And give it to McCaffrey or whoever they have next to McCaffrey now that Elijah Mitchell is out. Prayers up.
Hey, put in Debo.
Yeah,
Debo at wide receiver running back.
Yeah,
wide back.
Because it's like,
there you go.
Because like they have all this talent, but they only get like 13 points or 20 points. So this is not what you want. This is why I'm saying like I could see them going back to Trey Lance, because if they feel like Trey Lance gives them that extra, push in terms of their offense and that extra weapon with his legs and with his arm strength, I could see them going back to him for that. Now, granted, he has to earn the trust of the team again and win, and earn the trust of those guys again. No question, he has to do that. That's more important than anything. But in terms of front office standpoint, exactly. From front office standpoint, I can see them still sticking with Trey, man, because again, like he didn't really lose the job to Jimmy Garoppolo. He just got hurt, and then Garoppolo just came in. So we'll see how that plays out. But right now, in the present, they've been playing phenomenal. Easily one of the best teams in the NFL. Then we got the Sunday night football game, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Got the Green Bay Packers versus the 10-1, 9-1 before the dub, Philadelphia Eagles.
Man, oh man.
So what do you think the game plan was for you guys? Stop the run or?
So if we had a smart defensive coordinator, a coordinator whose name wasn't Joe Barry on the 0-16 Detroit Lions, the game plan should have been, hey, let's have a quarterback spy on Jalen Hurts, and let's not let Miles Sanders run. Turns out, shit hits the fan when you decide not to do that. What I saw from a run defense was one of the worst things I have ever seen.
No doubt.
I have never seen a team be so methodically beat down by the run game. Like, I thought it was bad when we allowed Raheem Mostert in the championship game to run for almost 230 yards. But the man Jalen Hurts had almost 100 yards rushing in the first quarter.
Special.
Like what I saw in week 12. And I don't know. Now, I love the fact that Green Bay beat Dallas. At least I know for a fact, no matter how bad we are, we can still own the Cowboys. But I hate how they gave me false hope in that game. Rodgers gave me false hope saying we're not dead yet when we were 4-6. And it couldn't even Green Bay couldn't even give me a full week to bask in victory. They decided to give me 3 days and then get killed by Tennessee on Thursday night and let Tannehill throw for 300 yards.
I told you he's good for one of the, I told you he's good for a 300-yard game every once in a while. I told you
like this
just happened to be against your squad.
This is a game. I mean, this is a game to where you look at it. We were down 13-0. Aaron Rodgers on an ayahuasca plant and a broken thumb somehow scores 2 touchdowns, is up 14-13. And I will say during this game, I retract every single bad thing I said about Christian Watson. I mean, I was giving him shit when he dropped the first pass against Minnesota week 1. I was giving him shit for being injury prone. I was hating on him in Dallas when he dropped easy gimme passes. I'm just like, this is the same. This is gonna be the same stuff. We could have had NBA young boy George Pickens, and instead we have this fool. Now I look at it now.
Pickens got some drop problems too.
Now, hey, that's why looking at it now I'm the fool. Because in 3 games, my man Christian Watson had 6 touchdowns, and I like what I see.
Dominant.
I think that Dallas game woke him up. Now,
just got healthy.
Yeah, he got healthy, and he's damn good.
Yeah.
He's a damn good receiver, CJ. He might be a receiver 1, and I like to see that from our potential receiver 1. Now, just this game overall, I mean, it was bad. It was bad. I mean, we scored 33 points. And it's a miracle with how terrible our offense is to get 33 points. But when your defense decides to not only let Miles Sanders run for 140 yards, but let's have Jalen Hurts run for 150, as well as pass for 160. That is not a recipe for success. 9 times out of 10, you are not winning those games. And that just so happened to be the Green Bay Packers. And it just so happened on top of that, of course, you guys all know Ben Hoyt, diehard Eagles fan,
Yes.
I had to deal with that.
Man.
So, yeah, there's that. I already knew going into this game, I'm just like, Ben, I already know we're dead. Make it quick and easy. Make it quick and painless.
Yeah.
And they did not make it quick. They just made it pain. Because for some odd reason, I had hope that on a 3rd and 6 with fucking Jordan Love, our defense could get a stop and we could maybe try the game. But, of course, that did not happen because that is a Green Bay special. Which then brings me to the next point of Aaron Rodgers not only playing on a broken hand, which has been discovered since he's been playing on it since week 5. He also decides to add on an oblique injury and does not return. And he said on the Pat McAfee show that, he's most likely going to play next week against the Bears. And I hope he does. Just so he could shove it up the Bears' ass one more time to prove that he's still the owner of the Bears. But I mean, I think what this game showed me was that 1, we have no shot at making the playoffs, and 2, after the Bears game, there should honestly be a consideration of putting Aaron Rodgers on the IR for the rest of the year. I know he stated that until they are mathematically eliminated, he'll keep on playing. But honestly, I think by week 14, we're going to be statistically eliminated. Because I'm going to be honest, Rodgers will play against the Bears. And for all those Bear fans that are listening, you will lose. Yeah, and that's a fact. Your daddy's coming to town on December 4th.
I thought it was Santa that was coming to town.
Well, Santa's coming to town on the 25th. Daddy's coming to town in Chicago on December 4th. There's a difference. Rodgers is going to go into Chicago and prove on an oblique injury and a bad thumb that he still owns Chicago.
But see, but listen to that though. What does that do for you guys?
It don't matter.
Wow.
I'd rather be 5 and 12.
Injured.
I would rather be 5-12 and have beaten the Bears twice and the Cowboys once than being 4-13. I will take being 5-12 and winning 1 extra game.
All right. I mean, okay.
that's just the petty. That's just the petty in me and wanting to beat the team rivals. Because I know for a fact we're not beating Minnesota. We're getting our ass kicked. We might lose to Detroit. We might get swept by Detroit. We have no shot against Miami. Absolutely zero. Zero chance against Miami. I mean, hey, no, I would love to play spoiler. But, I mean, there comes a point where, I mean, Rodgers is going to keep on saying that until
where's that eliminated. Game? That's in Green Bay?
No, it's in Miami on Christmas Day.
Oh, it's Clip for y'all. Yeah, it's Clip.
Yeah. You might as well you might as well tell Aaron Rodgers, hey, we're going to put you on IR. Enjoy the nightclubs in Miami.
Yeah, pack it up. Yes, pack it up. That's not.
Yeah, like looking at the rest of our schedule, we got the Bears next week. That's looking at 5-8. Then we got a bye week. Then we got the Rams, Dolphins, Vikings, Lions. That honestly looks like only 6 wins. Just by looking at it, and who knows? Maybe we're statistically eliminated by week 15, and we could just throw in Jordan Love. Now, Jordan Love that boy looked pretty good, against the Eagles. Granted, whether it's garbage time, whether it's, one bad play by the defense, that pass to Christian Watson for a 63-yard touchdown, that was something. And Jordan Love looked much better than he has had. And I'm glad that he's looked better because if I were him and I'm in the same system for 2 years and I don't see any progress, that's a problem. But he is slowly making progress. Now, hopefully we'll get to see him play during the season, which we probably will. It'll probably be week 15 against the Rams because we'll probably be eliminated from the playoffs by week 14. But who knows? And I mean that Sunday night game. I mean it was not good. I don't know how Matt LaFleur hasn't fired Joe Barry yet. I don't know if it's for the fact that our players on defense are injured, even though when our defense was healthy, it was garbage. Like our problem literally on defense was a run game. And what is our problem still? Run game. Like I don't know what Matt LaFleur is doing. There are some play calls that he's made where it's like, Matt, what are you doing? Like, it's just bad. Now, you also have to look at this fact. For Green Bay, not only did we move, like our offense took a big hit. Not only do we lose Devontae Adams, you also lose a QB coach, and you also lose Nathaniel Hackett, to the Broncos. And hey, Denver, if you fire Nathaniel Hackett, we will take you back with wide open arms to be our offensive coordinator. We will bring you right back. We will take you as our offensive coordinator because when you were our OC for 3 years, we had a top 10 offense. We will gladly take you back as our offensive coordinator. You'll be like a Josh McDaniels 2.0. Any one of your failed head coaching stints, just come back as a coordinator. Come on home.
Yeah, man.
This Sunday night game, man, it was. It looked like we were going to get blown out when we allowed 2 touchdowns by Philly, and then Green Bay brought us back in. It was close at halftime, and then it just fell apart. And then our run defense is terrible. We're 4-8. Shout out the Pittsburgh Steelers for being the Colts because now we have the chance at the 8th pick in the draft instead of number 9. But all I gotta say is, at least we're not the Denver Broncos.
At least you're not the Denver Broncos, but almost have the same record. The Eagles.
You know what?
Listen,
you know that. At least I'm not the Texans.
The Texans, yeah.
Nobody's the Texans.
Yeah, that sounds a lot better. So
I was gonna say when I said the Denver Broncos, I'm just like, wait a minute. We both have over 30-year-old quarterbacks, both cash strapped with contracts. Yeah, I don't know. That was a bad comparison.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
That was a bad one.
So you guys know that clip with Vince McMahon when he's talking about Andre the Giant and he's like, "Sky, he's special. He's special." That's Jalen Hurts. It's Jalen Hurts, man. Yeah. It's just 157 yards rushing at the quarterback position. It's like, huh?
We did that same thing for Colin Kaepernick in the playoffs.
I didn't. Oh yeah. You guys are known for giving up. Big time rushing games for quarterbacks. Yeah. It's been rough for you guys. But yeah, Jalen Hurts. I didn't see this type of running ability at Alabama or Oklahoma. I didn't know he was like this. I didn't know it was like.
We literally made him look like 04 Mike Vick.
Yeah. I mean, not even just this game alone. I mean, just throughout the whole season. I didn't know he was this type of runner until he came into the NFL, and he's just been. It's just been insane. It's been insane how well he's been playing. His completion percentage has gone up tremendously over this last 3 years. As a Philadelphia Eagle, it's been a godsend, man. I mean, they go from Wentz to Hurts. It's like, wow. You take him in the second round. Everybody was like, "Yo, why would they take Hurts? They have Wentz. It was a bad pick. It was a bad pick. What are you doing?" Howie Roseman is making it work. He's making it work. This was a good game. It was a little close. It was a potential trap game because it's always going to be a trap game. You got Aaron Rodgers on the other side. It just is. It doesn't matter what their record is. With him under center, you could lose. and
whatever perk he's on, you never know what you're gonna get.
Whatever he's on too. He's on some recreational stuff.
And I'm gonna be honest. When Rodgers went to the locker room, I'm just like, are we gonna get a perk Rodgers 2.0 like against Chicago?
Maybe. But
that's what I thought. That was
this was just all about Philadelphia, man. And for them, they got this win on at home at the Link. And they're just hitting on all cylinders. It's just one of the most dangerous teams in the league. And when it comes playoff time, I really want to see how the seeding works out in these matchups, because I think just like how we saw last year, how great those divisional rounds were and playoff games were, I could see the same thing this year, especially in the NFC. Like 49ers Eagles, and saying that's an NFC Conference Championship game, that's a banger. That's a banger. That is.
And then also, didn't every divisional game last year end in like at zeros?
What you mean, like final possession, like close?
Yeah, like as time expired, I think every single division round game ended as like the time expired, whether it was like a game-winning field goal or
something. Right? Yeah, it was close. Yeah. It was that. Yeah, exactly. It was that close. So I think we could see something like that this year, in both conferences. That's how much parity there is in the league. But yeah, big win by the Eagles. Then we get last but not least, before we get out of here, we got and then we do week 13 picks. We got the Steelers and the Colts. Steelers still making it a game. Kenny Pickett is solid. Yeah, he's proven. He's getting better. He's getting better every week. Made some big time throws to Pickens, Deontay Johnson as well. Pickens, for me, he's a rookie, so you're gonna have mistakes. But what does he want to be? Does he want to be a guy that just makes spec catches, or does he want to be one of the best receivers in football? And I think as he continues to grow as a receiver, and as he continues to have a relationship and gain chemistry with Pickett, I think he could be one of the best. I mean, he's that talented. He's just that talented, man. His rookie season, the type of catches that he's able to make, but he has to just work on making the simple ones, and he's able to do that. I think he's going to be a hell of a player. And then Mike T. I know they're
above 500.
But we all know that's not going to happen. Yeah, it's still there. It's still there, but we know that's not going to happen. That division is just too stacked now. But they could be a spoiler team though. They could definitely be a spoiler team, no doubt. I mean, teams trying to get the right playoff seeding, they try to get home field advantage, and they see Pittsburgh. You cannot sleep on that. TJ Watt's back. He's still running like his hair is on fire. They still have a really good defense. Micah Fitzpatrick is still out there, balling, getting turnovers. So you can't sleep on this team just because they're 4-7 and they have a rookie quarterback under center. This is still a well-coached team. And then for the Colts, they just folded this game, man. I mean, first off, the first half, what was that? I mean,
what was 0 yards in the first quarter?
It's like I don't know, man. And teams usually have a script of 15, 16 plays of what they want to do when the game starts. Whatever that was, burn it, because that was a terrible first half by the Colts, and then they pick it up in the second half. Late in the game, went down to the wire. Matt Ryan threw a touchdown pass to Michael Pittman Jr. That was a great pass, great catch by Pittman Jr. And they had an opportunity to tie this game, and just bad clock management, game management, situational football by Jeff Saturday. And I think it's going to happen when you've never coached in the NFL or anything higher than high school football in your entire life. There's going to be those situations. And also, he doesn't really. I mean, he has some former head coaches on his staff like John Fox, Gus Bradley, but it's still different. You're still that guy. When you're that guy, you could have a couple people in your talking to you in your headset, but you still have to know the game. You still have to know the situation. So that was a tough L. And I feel like the Colts, had they got this W, it puts them in a situation where you start to have some discussions. Maybe they can make a push. Maybe they can make a little run here and maybe try to get that 7th spot. But right now it's looking tough. It's just a learning process, not only for this for Jeff Saturday, but also for this team. Jonathan Taylor fumbles again in this game. It's just rough. It's just a rough loss. But to me, I said this last week too when he was on this. I said these are good losses for the Colts because we know they're not doing anything anyway. So just keep building your identity, keep finding out who you are in these next 6 games. Hopefully it's to a point where you might get a quarterback. And then once you get that quarterback, then we'll see what happens from there. But good win for Pittsburgh, and then for a tough loss for the Colts on their home field.
Yeah, that obviously that fumble was killer. You're literally about to score. I believe it was to make it a tie game as well.
Yes.
Just a bad exchange right there. Taylor fumbles it, and then realistically, Matt Ryan falls on top of it. Must have gotten it taken away from him, or just never actually secured it. So definitely a tough
that
loss
boy is slow as molasses,
bro. Like, you think Brady was bad?
Yeah, he tried to run out the pocket in one play. I'm like, is he? This is how he moves.
The fact that who was it a couple weeks? Oh, the Raiders. They gave him about 15 or like a 25-yard walk.
Yeah, 36 yard run.
How do you even do that?
I don't know. Yeah, I look at that Monday night game. I mean, that was a game where it was easily won by Pittsburgh. I mean, Kenny Pickett played well. He didn't turn the ball over a lot, and that's a loss right there for Indy. And it's a classic loss because like that poor clock management at the end of the game. That's literally what an inexperienced coach looks like. Like what bad clock management Jeff Saturday clearly showed a head coach that it doesn't have fully experience. Like he doesn't have full experience yet. And, who knows, maybe he'll still be the head coach after, the rest of the season. But, there's a reason why he's an interim coach is because of this. And the reason why they start off slow. And, for the Colts, like CJ mentioned, if they did win that game, maybe it would have given them slight hope. But, I mean, they already got swept by Tennessee. So it was the hope was pretty slim. But I think after that game, the door is shut.
Yes, sir, man. Great breakdown of Week 12. Now we got the Week 13 predictions. Here we go.
Don't let Al Michaels down. He's been very disappointed with the recent slate of Thursday games.
The Prime Video game, with the Prime Video Thursday night
I feel so bad for Al Michaels. So some of these Thursday games that he had to broadcast with a legend like him, he does not deserve to sit through a Colts Broncos Week 5 game.
Right, he got the
bag.
You could have just stayed on Sunday Night Football. I mean,
he could have, but
exactly. You took the bag. Bills, Patriots. Who we got? Matt?
Oh, sorry guys, but I got the Bills. I think Buffalo is going to find a way. I mean, I know it's in New England, and I know Bill Belichick could find a way to play spoiler. But I just think Buffalo is going to be a team to where that Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs connection, I think it's going to be big. And I think it's going to be too much for the Patriots offense to keep up. So I think Bills are going to take this game.
Connie, you got?
Yeah, listen, they haven't punted against us in the last 2 games. And Bill Belichick doesn't know how to defend running quarterbacks. Josh Allen is very good at that. So love my guys, but I also love winning in the pick segment. So I'm going with the Bills.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a series split, just like last year, and I think this is the game we get. It's at Foxborough. We need to get this game. I pick the Patriots every game, so whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say ride or die with the team.
Yeah, I pick them every game. But
CJ, I know the optimist. Anthony's the pessimist.
Not really optimist. It's just tough for me to just say, but like, yeah, we're gonna get blasted by 35. You know what I mean? If it happens, it happens.
I said we were gonna get blasted by Philadelphia, and we only lost by 7.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Well,
things can happen. Things are different. You never know what might happen. But I'm rolling with the Pats. I think we get this one, and then we lose to we could potentially lose to Buffalo down the road in the next game. We got Steelers and the Falcons.
Steelers have better defense. I'll go with them.
Yeah. I like Pittsburgh. Falcons defense is good too, though. They're good too. Yeah. They're underrated. They're very underrated. They make plays, but I just can't. I trust Pickett over Mariota. As crazy as that sounds.
No, I got Pittsburgh as well, and I trust TJ Watt and that Steelers defense more than I do with Atlanta, especially with how Atlanta lost that game last Sunday. If there's any situation where it comes to the wire with Atlanta having the ball last, they're going to find a way to choke it away. So Steelers for me.
Broncos Ravens, the get right game for Baltimore. With the poverty over there in Denver, so I got Baltimore.
I refuse to even pick in this.
Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens. And for any Broncos fans out there, Broncos country, let's die.
Let's die.
You guys are dead.
Sheesh.
It's rough out here. And you don't have to talk to me for the Packers Bears. You already know who I'm rolling with. You already know.
Yeah, I think
You already know. You already know, as Bears fans, your owner is coming to town.
I don't know what Phil's status is for this game.
It don't matter whether he plays or he doesn't.
I mean, it's tough for me to say it doesn't matter when y'all just gave up a 157 to Jalen Hurts and
doesn't matter.
And on that top 10 list of top 10 rushing performances by a quarterback, you know who also is on that list? Justin Fields. So if he plays in this game, I'm gonna take the Bears, my guy. I'm gonna take the Bears.
No,
I'm gonna take the Bears.
No
bro.
way, CJ.
You guys can't stop the run. You guys can't stop the run.
Doesn't matter. We're playing the Bears. Rodgers always finds a way to beat the Bears.
Listen, I hear that, and of course he does. He owns the Bears. He does. But we're talking about this game on Sunday, and Justin Fields playing this game, and looking at y'all run defense, which is we want to talk about Wise cheese.
Oh, it's terrible.
Swiss cheese defense.
Oh, it's Swiss cheese. It's Swiss cheese, all right.
Rotten cheese.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Chicago. Connie, you got?
I'll go with Chicago just to piss off Matt.
If Fields plays, I got Chicago. Jaguars and the Lions. Good game. Could be a good game. I got Detroit.
Yeah, I'll go with Detroit. It's at home.
I got Detroit as well.
Oh, look who we got here.
Oh man.
It's in Houston. It's in Houston. Oh, I thought it was in Cleveland. It's in Houston. Oh, okay. This is gonna be
the masseuse man is back.
The boos are gonna be insane for this guy.
I wonder if we're gonna get a "you sick fuck" chant because you got that one in the preseason in Jacksonville.
Probably.
Will we get that same thing in Houston?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
We're gonna have some chance, but at the end of the day, the Browns are gonna win.
Yeah, the Browns are still gonna win, man.
All right, Brad. Hey, if the Texans win this game, it will be one of the greatest upsets of the season, and America will be happier.
Yeah, I could see it being close because of everything that's around this game. I could see those Texans players just getting up for this game because of the circumstances. But all in all, I'm still going with Cleveland.
This is also a circumstance to where if Deshaun Watson tears his ACL this game, I can give two shits. I do not care. I would not care. That's how you feel. You're entitled to that, my guy. We got the Jets and the Vikings. I got. Yeah, Magic Mike White.
I'm gonna go with Minnesota.
Yeah, come on. I mean, I don't even know why there's a pause.
Because Jets got the number 2 defense in the NFL.
Jets got number 2 defense in the NFL.
We had a very good defense too. 33 points.
Yeah, but they do. Yeah, we had a very good defense too, but it's still a closer game. Let's still go with Minnesota though. Who you got?
I got Minnesota. Minnesota's going to find a way and win this game. There's no way. I think at this rate, I think if Green Bay wins and then Minnesota wins, I think Minnesota wraps up the division. So I mean, it really doesn't matter. They're going to beat the Jets. If Mike White beats the Vikings, I will gladly smoke on that Vikings L-Pack. I will gladly smoke on that.
This is going to be a good game. These next couple games are going to be good. This is a good game. This is an important game for both teams. Commanders and the Giants. I got the Commanders.
I got the Commies too. Giants are too banged up.
Well, I'm gonna go hot take. I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna go with the Giants. I think it's at MetLife. I think they're gonna find a way to get Saquon involved early, and I think the Heineke train is gonna slow down. I mean, they're 6-1. They're on a winning streak. Eventually, it's gonna come to an end. I think Sunday, December 4th is gonna be the day where the train slows down.
Two teams with similar identities. We got the Titans and the Eagles. I think Philadelphia keeps it going, 11-1.
I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, Eagles.
Seahawks and the Rams. Get right game for Seattle.
Yeah, the Rams are bad. Bad at football.
Yeah, the Rams are definitely terrible. I got the Seahawks as well. One thing I will say is at least Christian has USC, because if he didn't have USC, I mean, he might be in shambles.
Facts. These next 3 games are bangers. We got the Dolphins and the 49ers. This could be a Super Bowl preview. Mike
revenge
McDaniel,
game too between like Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson.
Sure, yes,
Remember
yes,
when
a lot, exactly. A lot of former players on both sides. Mike McDaniel's going back to San Fran. Wow. I got I'm gonna say I got Miami. I trust Tua over Jimmy G. Still.
I'm gonna go Miami too.
You know what? I'm going to be different again. I'm going with the Niners. I trust their defense. I think their defense is going to shut down the Dolphins' offense. And same thing I thought of like with the Heineke and the streak. Eventually, Tua is going to lose a game, and I think this is going to be the game to where Tua loses.
Okay. AFC Conference Championship rematch. Chiefs Bengals. I think the Chiefs get this one back.
Hey, we're gonna answer that right now. I think the Bengals continue to roll. Jamar Chase back. It's a big one.
Right. I got the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to stay rolling, and like CJ mentioned, I think they're going to get revenge on them. So give me the Chiefs.
Sunday Night Football, Week 17 between the Chargers and the Raiders was a classic. They're running back again here in Week 12. I got the Raiders.
I got the Chargers. Second favorite team, baby.
Yeah, I got the Chargers as well. I think the Raiders have gotten lucky the last 2 weeks, barely escaping Denver in overtime, and then barely escaping the Seahawks.
Yes.
I think this is going to be a game to where now this could easily be the same old Chargers, and they could easily choke this game away. But what I truly believe is I think when they went for that 2-point conversion and got it in Arizona, I think that could be a momentum boost for the Chargers. So give me the Chargers.
All right, Colts and the Cowboys. I got the boys.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys as well.
Yep.
And last but not least, NFC South matchup: the Buccaneers and the Saints. Who we rolling with?
Come on. Do we even discuss this? It's Tampa all the way.
I don't know.
Tampa, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer that Tampa wins this game.
It's not. I think I'm going to pick the Saints.
I think it's going to.
You think Red Rifle is going to play better than Tom Brady?
I don't, but Brady's like 1-5 against them.
But he won this year.
But they also suck this year.
Yeah, I don't see no brainer.
They're still in first in the division.
Well,
sure.
The division sucks even worse.
Yeah, division's terrible. It's not a no-brainer because, like Connie just said, the Saints definitely have Brady's number. But I will still take Tampa Bay in this game, but in a close game. But all right, that wraps up and the hard count episode 90. Wow.
Well, look at us.
We're getting close. We're getting close to that hundo. Good stream. Hey, I appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate you stopping by every single week, man, showing us love. Again, everybody else that stopped by, appreciate you guys. Make sure if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for the next time Connie and I go live. We also have other shows on the Unwrapped Sports Network that you guys might want to check out. So definitely be on the lookout for us on our other shows throughout the week.
Yes, sir. Anthony Conover _ on Twitter. You can check out my link tree. That's where you'll find everything. Other than that, you have a good one, Matt.
Yep. Twitter handle down below, Matt_Score. Check that out. Instagram, Matt_Score21. And both of those bios has my link tree. Gives you access to my sports podcast and me and my great friend Connor do called MCS Real Sports Podcast. We talk all things NBA and NFL related. You name it, it's available everywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, iHeartRadio. You name it, it's available everywhere. Always a pleasure to be on the hard count. It's been a while since I've been on the hard count, but decided to make an appearance because, you know, what went down Sunday night was pitiful. And, you know, the time to tank for a draft pick is now. And I don't care if we beat Chicago next week and we finish the rest of the season 5-12. I will take beating the Bears twice, the Cowboys once. And then I'll take 5-12.
Well,
and hey, if Marvin Harrison Jr. goes to the draft, Green Bay, please take him ASAP.
Gotta wait a year, buddy. With all that being said, appreciate everybody for tuning in as per usual, and we'll catch you on the next episode. All right.
Yes, sir.